up,
Good
bro?
evening. What's up, man? Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thought I'd go live tonight. Didn't go live last night, so I'm here with my buddy, Mr. Duggar. What are you up to, sir?
Oh, about 5'11", 5'11 and a half. I'm starting to shrink.
Hey, man, we got the new Mexican, not the old Mexican. We got the new
Now
Mexican.
we got the new, you got the New Mexico here, baby. You know,
right.
how many people we got in the house already?
So far, just two. I see Glenn. He had a nice welcome for me. And he is heterosexual, it says. Do you believe that, or you think
I don't know. Talking to you like that, I have to question that. And he doesn't use very good punctuation marks either. I agree with Audio Authority.
I know. I'm pretty dumb, and I know where to put the commas, at least.
Well, how you doing, Glenn, and Audio Authority?
Good old Glenn.
What are you, retarded? So I know you're not retarded, but
in reference to what? I just want y'all to know boobies make me happy, comma, all the time.
Well. It's an interesting day of events. I want to play something for you. I want to get your reaction to what you think about this.
Sure. Well.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
That's my president.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Dude, we got a fucking man in there. We don't have a simp. We don't have a puppet. We don't have an evil. You know, I don't know what you're supposed to do. You know, a lot of them maybe try to spoil his presidency. You know, if I was him, I wouldn't send him another thing. They wouldn't get another grenade from us.
Yeah.
You know, you're on your own from now fucking on.
Agreed.
You know, that's all it is, you know. And other people attacking, you know, Israel, they know we got their back, but it's like we're being a guard dog for that motherfucker. Excuse my language.
And a lot of the shit he starts himself too. I mean, it's like when that Bibi, the prime minister of Israel, like when we dropped the two bombs in Iran, people were posting the supposed explosion over and over again. It was this giant fucking explosion, and it wasn't even the right video. It was from 2024 when Israel was bombing Syria.
Yeah. So you can't believe what's on this son of a bitch. Listen to what he tells you. You know, and because he'll tell you what's going on. You know, I think Bongino, he's surreal. Everybody had their doubts about Patel when he said that Epstein definitely died, hung himself. But you know what? He thought he might not have been honest about that answer. And the reason he was honest about that answer is because some other, let's see, maybe Israel came in and took him out, or, you know, but there was cooperation there. Cameras that don't have fuzziness that all of a sudden getting fuzziness, and two new guards that just happened to go to sleep or go for a walk in a majorly shut down jail. I'm sorry, sir. What? But if he'd have took all of, they could see every inch of his cell. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what a great set of coincidences that happened all at once. It wasn't the normal guard. It wasn't the normal guards. It was like backed up, like replacement guards. They fell asleep. The cameras didn't work. I mean, it's just okay.
I mean, even the first autopsy guy said it was more to strangulation instead of hanging. Go to the bones that were broke. And he didn't have a place to drop down. He literally had to like tuck his feet behind him and just forced. There's no way he could have hung himself. He was a tall guy. There's nothing to tie that shit on.
No, I mean, people can, I guess, kind of tie it around and kind of slowly choke themselves, but not like break their neck in 3 spots. I mean, that's.
I'm telling you, I don't care who you are. Nobody's that fucking about that. Nobody wants to die that much where they literally choke themselves to death.
Right.
I don't buy it.
Where it probably takes minutes and minutes,
I'm not that brave. That's brave mother dog if he could do that, but I seriously doubt it. They've never come out and said who was actually in his partner cells.
Well, his roommate for a long time, and supposedly they moved him out, but it was a former cop who was in there for life in prison. I think he murdered like 4 people.
Yeah, big old steroid, big old son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So that looks more like it,
I mean, how easy is that to pay somebody to do it? A guy who's killed multiple people, dirty cop, and he's in there for life. What an easy way to pay somebody off, Hey,
oh shit!
What happened there?
Oh, I forgot to mute. I just dropped some ashes on my damn thing. I smoke in my house. Yeah, dude, it's just, and back to that Iran stuff, I mean, Trump's, he's playing the strong man. He says, we're done with this bullshit. You're going to do what the hell I say. If you don't do what I say, you can go do this shit. You'll have 5, 6 countries on you at once. If I was just back off and say my country's not coming to help, he'd have 3 or 4 different countries attacking him. So, I don't know.
And it kind of showed that they're not as strong as everybody thought they were. I
mean, they some badasses. Don't think for a second they ain't badasses. They just don't have the numbers, but they're Israel's a badass army.
Oh yeah, I mean I get you there, but I mean they can't.
Iran is that good of an army.
No, I don't think so either. And that's what the whole thing about people being afraid of Iran all of a sudden is they said that at one take, and then they would make fun of their stupid missiles that can't hit anything. So I'm like, why are we afraid of these people?
Well, the reason is they don't want to hit anything because every time they shoot and hit somebody, they get really whopped. There's all of a sudden missiles coming into bedrooms from high altitude commanders. They kind of learn from their mistakes sometimes, but I know I don't want nobody to die.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the reality too.
You are not, Andy. Tell the truth.
What do you say?
He feels I'm a heterosexual gnome. What up, Andy? I'm sorry, man. I had to pop off. I don't really read that.
What's up, Andy? Thanks for showing up. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think some people, I don't think a lot, but just reading online, I think a lot of people think about, they lump in the Iranian people with the government. I mean, I don't know if anybody watches a lot of travel videos or anything like that. I mean, their capital city, it's a giant city with like 11 million people. It's nicer than a lot of fucking American cities. It's probably nicer than Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit.
But
I
they
mean-
gotta remember that's a big tribal area. If it comes to an all out, let's fight. Okay, you son of bitches, let's fight. There's going to be so much discord that hey, he didn't speak for us. We want to overthrow him. They hate the government there.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
But I mean, back to my point is, when you look at it, I mean, it's a big city. It's relatively clean. It's got shops. People visit there from around the world all the time. I mean, it's not, people think of it like everybody's just riding around on camels out in the desert. It's not what Iran is at all.
I love Iranian food. Oh, it's so fucking good, dude. But and I've known some Iranian people, but they're very nice people. And they scratch their heads too about how governments can, just certain people and certain governments, got a I don't know, extraterrestrial, I don't know how to say it, testosterone or something like that. Testosterone, nut power to go up against each other, But
Right.
it is not them going to the front lines, it's their kids and our kids. Most of these people going to war are from 18 to 25.
Yeah. There has to be, some distinction of, the people from the government. And it's the same thing when I shit on Bibi Netanyahu. I'm talking shit about him and the government over there, not the Israeli people. So sometimes people, for some reason, include both together. Like, oh gosh, you hate Muslims or you hate Jews or whatever. No, I'm just talking about their shitty government.
He's got a Woody on them people but saying death to Israel for that many times. They take that shit personally in the Mideast.
Well, they say it too. That's a big problem with our media. Our media is different. I mean, there's some independent people who show it, but people walk around Israel saying, I saw this, it was like a 20-year-old girl. She was being interviewed in Israel, and she was saying that basically the same thing, but in reverse. And she was going even more hardcore. She was saying, we need to take out all their children because they're just going to grow up to be terrorists too.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? That 20-year-old girl saying that, taking out all the Iranians' children. And when you watch videos from Iran, they're just walking around the town, eating at nice restaurants, going shopping, doing the same shit we do, doing the same shit Israelis do.
I mean, people just need to, deal with their governments, control their governments. That's what's been hurting us for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Is our governments have been lying to us. And it took a guy that wasn't a politician to come in here and try to set it on a righter course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with everything that dude says, but I agree with what he said earlier. There's fools.
Well, Fools is a good person to ask about that. He travels all over.
Yeah.
He'd be the first. Yeah, he'd be the first one to tell you that these people are just people just like us. They worry about the same shit. They worry about their kids. They worry about prices of things.
Yeah. If we can just breathe without trying to take the breath of somebody else, I mean, there's too much meanness. The wrong people are in charge. And the people in each individual country need to see that. But it always starts off, the unarmed countries are the ones that get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And first thing they do is take your weapons away from them. And I hope that they take that, ceasefire serious, and I mean, when my boy got to come out and start cussing him, he's pissed, dude.
He didn't have his
pissed.
He probably got like 3 hours of fucking sleep. He doesn't have his tie on, and he wakes up to see that they're still fucking bombing. He was fucking livid, man.
Yeah, he didn't have that power tie on. He just hold me back, power tie. He told him how the cow ate the cabbage. They don't know what the fuck is going on.
Well, the reports are, people from the inside have kind of leaked it out. Could be true, might not be true, but the way he acted in that press conference, I believe it to be true. But apparently when he woke up and he saw this shit, he got on the phone with BB. And there was only one person talking, and it was Donald Trump. They said he ripped his ass a new one.
I wish I could have heard that.
Don't you though?
I wish I could have heard it. And the one he called Iran too. And it was probably even somebody, an undercover kind of guy. Because Iran said, "Hey, we didn't shoot that fucking missile." And it could have been a CIA undercover, deep state kind of person that shot that son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Triggers, everybody's on trigger edge. Oh, but he just went and dumped a bunch of weapons on them, and oh man, there's too many people just dying because they're not shooting to scare them. They're shooting to kill them. Same to you, back roads. Andy, my hero. P did. Yeah. So I mean, it's. What are we gonna do? We're gonna get involved with it some more. I don't think so. I just don't think so, unless Iran gets stupid froggy. And I don't think Iran's gonna get froggy.
I don't think so either. I mean, they were pretty docile about the whole fucking thing. I mean, and here's the reality. Iran didn't bomb anybody. I mean, in this case, they were bombed by Israel and then America. They didn't start anything. And I saw somebody posting, I don't know how long it goes back, but how many times Iran has broken a ceasefire and how many times Israel has broken a ceasefire. And it was like 976-2, where Israel has broken ceasefires before. They seem to back off pretty quick. I don't know. I think BB is kind of a neocon warmonger myself, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot more to it than just Iranian bad.
Absolutely. He's just a hater. I mean, he's like Lindsey Graham. That son bitch is up on his pedestal too, hollering, playing bomb, 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 Iran, that kind of shit. So fuck that.
Yeah, and Trump posted that too. That song with the B-52. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that because, like I said, it's just imagine if. It's just like I said, man. They're just fucking people, just like. Citizens are just people, No. Imagine the biggest superpower on earth. You see that on the internet, the American president playing that, Probably doesn't gain a lot of fans over there.
Here, talk to your chat. I gotta go get me some water.
All right. What's up, Beer and Back Roads? P. Didge, Traveling Fools. I saw come in earlier. I know P. Didge. I don't understand how he keeps getting elected. I mean, his first instinct is who can we overthrow? You know, he doesn't even discuss any sort of peace to start off with. He starts off, it goes straight into, all right, let's take him out. You know, fire up the planes, let's go. And of course, he has no children. We all know why. So he doesn't have anything to worry about. I would like that if first you'd have to go through Congress, which you should, to declare war and military action. But also, if you vote yes, you have to send. If you have a son, you have to send him, and if you don't have a son, you got to send your nephew, and it goes down the list. You got to send somebody to what you just voted for. We'd see how really, in my opinion, you'd see how dire these situations really are if they had to send one of their own with the vote. This is my opinion.
I think Trump's tired of Lindsey's crap though.
You okay?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what I'd breathe into the mic.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot getting up, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're a New Mexican. There's a lot going-
Hey, I'm really a Texan.
a Texican?
Transplanted. Yeah. Transplanted up over here. You know, it's so nice here though. There isn't any mosquitoes. And that's a big plus. You know. If you get along a river, you might find a few no-see-ums. But for the biggest part, there are no mosquitoes here.
Oh God, you know how it is here.
Hell yeah, them things. I heard two of them over talking one time. Should we eat him now or take him home? You know, I mean, that's some big mosquitoes. You know.
Yeah, I took my daughter out to dinner last night, and just going from the front door to the car, we got in the car. She got in the front seat. She was scratching her leg. She had 2 fresh mosquito bites from the front door to the car.
Yeah. We had a place down. You know where Peyton Creek is, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. We used to fish that a lot. You know, we noodled in there, and we hung limb lines, trout lines. There's some monster flatheads in there. And I ain't kidding you, brother. If you didn't soak your clothes in DEET and wear a skeeter helmet,
Mm.
you couldn't go in there. You know, we were wearing them big thick gloves. You know,
Yeah.
but man, you could catch some catfish, and that thing was full of catfish. I'd never seen so many mosquitoes in my life. And then the ones out at Bryan Beach, man, them beach mosquitoes, them red ones. Oh,
Mhm.
them things, they could go straight through blue jeans. Blue jeans ain't got nothing on a skeeter. It goes through a Carhartt. I ain't shit. That's some badass mosquitoes. They just throw a anchor on you as they get blowed by the wind and grab and pull themselves in on you. He did. But yeah, man, that's some terrible crap going on over there, you know. And I think they're at a ceasefire right now, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see how long it lasts. You
I
know,
was gonna
you ain't heard shit about Ukraine either.
No. I haven't heard about that or Gaza.
No.
I know they've 1,000 Palestinian civilians died this last week, but all the news was towards Iran war.
1,000 Palestinians did?
Civilians, yeah.
Oh shit.
They were averaging like over 100 a day. I mean, they just don't give a fuck, man. They will. I don't know, man. It's not a good situation if you look at those pictures and what's happening over there. It's not good. You know, for the last 15, 20 years, they put them on Israel's put them on like a diet. They call it the diet. And this is straight from an Israeli official. They figured out, because they supply everything to them. The food has to go through there, the medicine, everything has to go through Israel first. One, they pick what they can eat, and how they calculate it, they try to find out what's the lowest amount of calories each person can live without starving. And I'm not talking about like 2,000 calories, like a
Oh, come
base
on.
American.
Being
They're
real,
like, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. They're like, oh, well, each person, if we give them like 300 calories a day, they won't starve. That's how they treat these people, man. And I know Hamas is bad and everything, yeah, but
well,
like we said earlier, it's all the governments causing all these problems, not the people.
Well, I just don't want a nuke dropping on, whether it drops by Russia, China, Iran, or anybody. You know, I'm almost out of here. I worry about it for my daughter.
Yeah, me too, man.
You know, and my other kinfolk. You know, people I love. I got some people coming. They done drove probably 1,200 miles to come see my fat ass tomorrow, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, because gas still ain't cheap.
No.
You know, and it's beautiful here. It really is. You know, I mean, there's some really nice trout streams up here and here. The animal life around here is real crazy, and the Indian artifacts and just the cut and arroyos that the rain had did over millenniums and shit. It's pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we got places you can go where you can see where they painted on the walls and on the rock and stuff. And it's kind of neat when you really think about it. How many generations have passed before we ever got here?
Right.
You know, so it's kind of nice, man. And I could see why they would be in a certain spot, but it had everything. Like it had water, game, that kind of stuff. But you can literally follow it. You know what a napper is?
A what?
A napper.
A napper?
In an Indian tribe. He's the guy that makes the spear points and the arrow points and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I when I first got here, I got the privilege of hanging out with a couple of guys that were really hardcore stompers. They'd go up there and, you know, hike all the time. We'd go looking for Indian artifacts and gold, and but mostly arrowheads and meteorites and that kind of shit. And these guys knew a lot about them, man. And we find there's some big time obsidian over here that the Indians here used to trade to other tribes for other stuff, because this is like the ultimate spear point or knife or whatever you want, something with sharp edge, bowhead. It was easy to material to handle and shape, and I mean it's just the knowledge of other people and the old here. It makes us proud of our own country, but to keep going to war for other countries that really don't add no security. What security do they add to us other than they buy a little bit of stuff here, which they don't use much because most of it's got to be, you know, boy, it's got to be, you know,
right,
sponsored by one of the priests in the thing. Oh yeah, kosher, make it kosher. Drop your link. See if somebody will jump up here.
I got a video. I was going to another video.
Cool.
If you want to watch it. It's, Thomas Massey, he was on the Theo Vaughn podcast talking about how these fucking bills that he always votes no to that everybody gets mad at him. The Democrats, Republicans, they always, everybody gets mad at him because he'll vote no and say there's too much shit in it. Take it out and I'll vote yes. And they all, he drives people crazy in Washington because he's so stubborn about it. But me personally, I like that he's stubborn about it. It's kind of the shit Gigi and you and I always bitch out on her show. Like, we just want one fucking bill, And he's the one guy. He's the one guy who actually tries for it. You
remember that cartoon, Bill? I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. That's the way it should be. It's one little bill, or even it's one big bill. It needs to be one at a time.
Yeah, let me go over here and play this sucker. I'll have to pause it every now and then because this show's actually on YouTube. It's on Twitter, but the show's from YouTube, so I have to pause it every couple minutes or whatever. Or it's only like 3 minutes long, but
be 50% of solving the problem. If it's not a silver bullet, but it's a lot of it. Get rid of the giant bills. Okay. The omnibus bills, the continuing resolutions, and even the big, beautiful bill.
Mm-hmm.
Why not put that shit on the floor one at a time?
I agree.
And then that way you can go to your representative or your senators and say, why did you vote for that? Right now they can say, well, Theo, I had to vote for it. I had a pay raise for soldiers, right? They literally will put a pay raise for soldiers in every freaking bill, giant bill, so that if you vote against it, you have to go back home and watch TV ads that say he voted against a pay raise for the soldiers.
Right.
that's 100% true.
I believe you. Yep.
Even though he may have voted for 90 other amazing things on the bill, right?
Right.
And that was one thing that was tied in there, that if you went this way,
Yeah.
it may have been like oxygen for grandmothers, right?
Literally, there probably is that in there.
But if you vote for oxygen for grandmothers, then they're not going to give. So I see what you're saying.
I voted against oxygen for grandmothers so many times they can't even run that ad anymore. It doesn't even seem real.
So, but take me through this moment, so I don't stray from it, so people can so I can understand it. So, like, give me two examples of things that would be on an omnibus bill that would be that there's no way for a voter to win, that there's no way for.
And it's always how they name the bills too, Mr. Ducker. It's like, feed the kids bill, and then it has like 700 horrendous things in it.
And what the fuck?
Okay.
A representative.
Huh?
And what the hell is one big bill? Come on.
Yeah.
It don't need to be
vote.
like that. I totally agree with them, that
it's
they're
just
hiding it in there.
Yeah.
And win on.
Okay. Well, the easiest, let me just take something topical, the big, beautiful bill.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of that big, beautiful bill is a provision for artificial intelligence corporations that says no
10 years.
for 10 years, no state or locality can regulate them. And then it talks about zoning and routing, which if some of your listeners may have seen this, like locally, some big corporation wants to put a data center in your backyard. Well, that's what Congress is trying to do. They're trying to say that these corporations can override local zoning laws, that the local zoning board should take a back seat and let this big information center show up in your backyard that uses all kinds of water and all kinds of power and puts out all kinds of RF and has,
Oh yeah, your fucking cousin's gonna be walking down the street just fucking, just fucking screaming out Amazon orders. It's gonna be the shit that's gonna start happening. Is gonna be crazy. You're literally gonna be driving down the road with your windows open and an old gust of 5G remnants from Blockbuster emails that never got uploaded are just gonna pass through your fucking vehicle. Shit's gonna get insane. You're gonna have babies that are born with advertisements like birthmarks that show up. This is a set of twins with Nike logos on them. What is happening, man?
So that's in the big, beautiful bill. Okay. And you can know that's evil. You can know that's bad. And Trump never campaigned on that. But also in that bill is to enforce our borders.
Mhm.
Okay. To finish the wall.
Right.
So if you're a Republican and you vote for that bill, okay, you supported enforcing the border, but you also let AI basically take over your local and state governments. Okay. And then if you vote against it, Well, then you're against the AI provision, but oh my gosh, you're for open borders. You
Right.
know, you don't want to support the military. There was $100 billion in there for the military.
Yeah.
There was, oh, you want to tax seniors. There was a tax cut for seniors. There was an extension of the tax cuts from 2017. I voted for the 2017 tax cuts, but I voted against this 2025 bill because it's got a lot of crap in there that doesn't belong and it's going to balloon our deficit.
Right.
So you can't win for losing. And so I don't blame a lot of my colleagues. Like they come to Congress, they have the
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. What they're trying to do is centralize everything. I'm scared of this AI crap.
Yeah, and then there's like he was saying, the bill. I mean, I read it line for line on this part of it. It takes away for 10 years the state and local governments. They can't make any law against it, and that's the federal government
Can't
overstepping.
Can't regulate it.
Yeah, that's the federal government stepping over states' rights, taking local rights away. That I don't even think that's legal, to be honest. But
I think they ought to pass the bill, and then after it passes, start a new bill says, "Oh yeah, we're cutting out that part with the AI thing." They could do that, but I don't.
but
know.
will they? I don't know.
I don't. I just think that's too much power for the big countries. They're bitching about the big tech countries now. What the hell are they going to turn in when they got shit that's instantaneous smart running the show?
Right. Well, that's what we're trying to keep up with. I guess America feels the need to keep up with China because that's what they're doing. They're going all fucking AI. You know, going into grocery stores, you got to,
Well, yeah, they want to scan a number on your forehead.
scan you in, scan you out.
Beast. Okay.
And in some parts, they'll limit your damn what you can buy. If you misbehaved on social media,
Yeah. It's all control thing, dude. I don't know what to do about it. I'm a 65-year-old fat man, even though handsome as I am. I have no say in the matter.
Right.
Except my vote. I vote for Trump, but I didn't vote for the Congress guys that backed that bill, loaded with that shit. I don't back their bill. You know, it had some good stuff in it, but it had some sneaky shit in it. And that's our government fucking us over. You know? They want to be about the people. Let's have some common sense bills. Oh, yeah, if you don't have common sense, you're not allowed. Once you prove not to have common sense, you got to get out of the Congress.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Like the guys going and having margaritas with a killer from freaking Ecuador or wherever, El Salvador, drug dealer, trafficker, woman beater. Go have a margarita with that guy. You know.
Mr. Duggar,
Yeah.
can you talk to this gentleman while I run to the restroom real quick?
You put that on me.
I do have to go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Nate the Great. What up,
Hey, Duggars.
Buttercup? Well, how's my good buddy Nate the Great doing tonight?
I'm doing quite well. Thanks for asking, Duggars. As you may know, you're a Christian. Well, I'm trying to turn this to Christian.
Yes, I am. By the way.
Right. Oh, am I silent?
Huh?
Am I quiet?
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, so I'm not trying to scare anybody. I think we're so close to. I mean, we're in the end times, but I mean, we're so close to that. I guess. Oh, PD, this is it's great. No pain, by the way. So also, I'm just trying to get at is it's World War III might happen. We don't know, but this is one bad move. You know, all hell will break loose. So I'm just trying to pray for those that don't, believe in, our Lord.
Yeah,
So
yep, yep. One thing about it, Nate, you should never be shy about that. If they nailing me to a wall because I'm a Christian, I'm still going to holler Jesus' name. I will not deny him.
yeah,
And but the thing we got going on is, there's a lot of people nowadays that don't believe the way we believe, or
Right.
even who we believe in.
yes,
I do believe the skirmish is going on, and the reason things are going on is because of a battle between good and evil.
yep,
That's my opinion.
yeah,
Um,
I agree.
And all I can do is cover. You can't send somebody else to heaven. They're gonna have to do it themselves. So,
Right.
I mean, prayers help, but yeah, it's good to be king.
Yeah.
He'll be here when he gets here.
Yeah.
He'll
Nobody
come.
knows the hour except for the
Yeah,
Father.
so I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it because I think I got a box car on on that train. So,
Okay.
but,
Yeah.
but let's get back. Let's try to keep a little more on topic of what do
Sorry.
you think about what's going on in Iran? What is your take on it, Nate?
My answer is, or question answer is why? Why do we need any of this crap, and we can just handle our own issues? That's my take.
Well, we're actually one thing is because we're allies. We always took a staunch stand on Iran
Right.
to that they were going to get a nuclear bomb, and they were probably within 2 weeks of having a bomb, even though we've been hearing that for the last 30, 40 years that
Right.
Iran can't have a bomb. And that was a big woody for Trump,
Right.
you're not going to get the bomb. And
Mhm.
they tried to say, well, we took all that stuff out. No, you didn't, because they can see that uranium and enriched uranium anywhere on Earth. If unless they got it down another big old rat hole, who knows? But they didn't move it because I guarantee you they had the people there that were watching that would have snitched them out. Baker, how you doing, man?
Sorry, it took a little longer. My daughter woke up and she came to tell me, Daddy, I want to be a makeup artist when I grow up. Like, okay,
Hell.
baby, let's go back. Go back to sleep now. That was so random.
Yeah, it is random actually.
How old is she?
She just turned 8.
Nice, good age.
Welcome in, Dozer, Baker.
Dozer. Pete did. I tell you, man, it's the loyal of us that come in here and hang out with us. We're glad to see y'all. But I Baker, what do you think's going on in Iran? What do you think about that?
Well, he's a communist. He's a communist. I'm not sure you want to ask him. What?
He is kind of a commie bastard, ain't he? I'm just kidding, bro.
Well,
But at least, hey, as long as you have good audio, commies are fine with me.
Do you have your link pinned?
Yeah, Baker has the link too.
Okay.
And I dropped it a minute ago, but
Baker
Yo.
says we're fucked.
I don't think so. I don't think we're fucked. Oh, we're probably fucked, but the
Yeah.
whole United States overall is probably not, just
No.
here and there.
Yeah.
Who that, man? I never seen that one. But yeah, I'm just I don't know. They keep hollering no regime change. Why not? Hell, you there now. You know, it's that guy wearing the white robe that's, you know, causing all the crap. But you don't want to make him a martyr either, though. You know.
Yeah.
well, there's so many different types of people there. It's
Right.
way more complicated. But yeah, you just don't want to get into that mess, man. And what if the one they replace is worse? Like, have you thought about that?
Yeah.
Right. Damn, that Ted Cruz guy got a fucking sunburn. Holy shit. That Ted Cruz?
No, that's Thomas Massey.
Oh.
Ted Cruz is way, way dumber than this guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh. He kind of looked like him.
Plus,
Yeah,
well,
just the face, though.
plus
you know,
when Ted Cruz shows up to Astros playoff games, they lose. So right off the
Oh.
bat, I don't like him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's not allowed to even go to another game.
What about the Longhorns game? I'm just kidding. Oh, actually, that's McConaughey's job. Never mind.
Yeah, he's an Aggie fan like Mr. Duggar, so that makes a lot of
Boom.
sense. That makes a lot of sense now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Massive Aggie fan. Oh man, that's just wrong. Don't they just do me wrong, man. Just sitting here minding my own business. They take a shot over the bow.
Hey, Mr. Duggar, is the Texas A&M a military academy?
Pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Pretty much.
They have a lot to do with the military, and young men getting ready to go to a career in the armed services. Although they're a great educational school, they're also an old school with honor systems and stuff in it, like the military, and they got a lot of customs that go with it. I get hollered at all the time. We ain't got no girls. Yeah, but they'll make more money and they'll get all the girls after they get graduated.
It's true.
If I wanted to go to Texas A&M, which I don't think I would because there's no girls.
There's lots of girls. They just don't have cheerleaders.
There's plenty of
just
girls there.
cheerleaders.
It's not all male. It's just all male cheerleaders.
Yeah, I think that's kind of weird. That's just me. But hey, not my problem.
Well, I ain't got to worry about it anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Ted is a sellout, you know, and he's a schemer, dude. Ted Cruz is a schemer.
No, it's such a that interview he did with Tucker Carlson, man, what a train wreck for Ted Cruz. It's a train wreck.
I don't think he'll be able to get elected as a janitor of a high school after that one.
Hmm.
Tucker fans have anything to do with it. Tucker can make most everybody look kind of clumsy, though, you know.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to answer that. Ted wanted to go on these, like, he's used to going on cable news where they just let you talk for 2 minutes and then they go to commercial. You come back, you talk for 2 minutes, and you go to commercial, and then the show's over.
So kind of like a call-in show in a way.
Yeah, he's not used to being drug out to the deep waters. Like, okay, well, like, you know, hey, well, why do you think that? Well, why'd you say that? Why'd you say this? And he has to actually answer it. And he started moving around in his chair. He even asked Tucker at one point, "Why are you being so snarky?"
Yeah. He's sort of, you know, he's sort of like Kurt, you know. He does like Kurt does, you know. Leads him out to lands less traveled for him, you know.
Right.
I got to answer this about just to make this perfectly clear. Traveling Pools had a major man crush on Zach. He liked the way he
Uh-oh.
looked in his little shirt.
Did he now?
He loved him. Dude, he was infatuated. He likes just saying the name Zach.
Is he? Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
Well, you know, some people have wives and they still hide their little feelings.
Yeah.
You know?
It is true though. When Fools came to Houston, he kept begging me, "Can we drive up to College Station? Can we drive up to College Station?"
I might get to see Zach.
I was like, "No, we can't do that." And he was like,
Who's Zach? Like I never heard.
He
of
was the leader of the Yell.
him. Oh, never mind then.
But I do admit that when they were having a Yell that time, and a bunch of us went in there and was trolling them.
Oh yeah.
That was the funniest shit I ever seen. I am not kidding, dude. And they had no moderators.
No.
That was hilarious.
I think
Yeah.
that video's still up though. Well, for our part,
Oh,
I think, but I think they blocked us.
did they?
Yeah, I think that's the whole reason we got blocked. After we, trolled them.
I think we did, if I remember correctly, we ran everybody out of there, and then it was just us, right?
Yeah. They couldn't handle the smoke.
Did you read the private chat there,
Oh,
LW?
Cheers. Oh,
Was he down in the basement or what?
not that I was aware. It might have been when I went to the restroom.
Oh.
I didn't see him.
I still don't know how to figure out the play of Rust, not gonna lie.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, there's no better beer than Shiner beer. You're not even thirsty for a beer if you're not drinking Shiner.
I want beer right now. But I'll be right back.
Do you drink beer, Nate?
NA beer, yes. So it kind of counts. Just because I'm on medication.
Okay. That's good. Hey, there's some good NA beers out there.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't think of one right now, but
Sam Adams came out with one, I think.
Sam Adams got a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Real quick. Hey, P. Didge, is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me take this overlay down. Just wanted to make sure. How are you doing tonight, sir?
So-
Doing pretty well. How are you guys?
Bored. Just in my home.
You know, man,
But-
I'm just too blessed to be stressed.
I wish I could go do stuff outside, but I can't.
Dude,
So
it
what do you
rained
think? What do you think about all the nonsense we were talking about so far, P. Didge?
it screen.
Which part?
Trump, all the stuff going on.
I'm kind of like you guys, a little disappointed. I guess I'm just kind of waiting and seeing. I know there's going to be a bunch of things that kind of come out, but really, we'll have no, I guess, clear vision with it or clear understanding for a couple weeks probably. A lot of things are going to go. You knew that. You knew the ceasefire wasn't going to last.
Well, it's back in effect now. So let's just see how it holds from now.
Right. And what was the numbers that LW brought out? Was it 92? Times that Iran violated and Israel violated it twice or something like that. And I'm not saying one over the other, but
Yeah, I know.
it is what it is.
I just just for a feather in Trump's cap, you know what I mean? And
Well,
and get that
yeah.
Ukraine thing tied up, and let's get out of war.
yeah.
Run
Well, I mean, when you look at Israel, the reason they attacked is why? Because they had a nuclear bomb, right? So Trump took that out. So you can kind of look at Israel and say, okay, why you want to keep fighting? But if someone keeps throwing bombs over at you, what are you going to do? So, like I said, I don't think this is going to be, I think Trump said he wanted to call it a 12-day war or something like that. But
Yeah.
this is going to go for a while.
Yeah, and I think
I
that's what
still-
Trump was pissed off about, is that, like he said in the video, he's walking out to the helicopter, was we signed the deal, and you have to give them 12 hours to stop all this shit. You can't just immediately, it's getting communications on the ground to people. It takes a you got to make sure you get everything straight. But as soon as they made that deal, like an hour later, like you said, Israel just dropped everything they had on them. Basically, they bombed the shit out of Iran. I don't think Trump was expecting that.
Right.
Well, he was pissed. He was pissed. But and like Trump said, the missile that Iran came from Iran, which Iran vehemently denies firing, didn't hit anything. And that's what makes me suspicious too, because Iran, it shoots, usually hit when they get through. They usually hit something. So I mean, the dome covers a lot of it and keeps it out, but when they do get through, they hitting something. People are being blowed up.
I think P did just makes a good point there too. Like, okay, we bombed what Israel told us to bomb, and then there's some
Right.
conflicting reports on like if we got everything, but we got some of it. But like you said, that's to be determined. But
Right.
Trump said, okay, you say there, okay, that's your intelligence that it's there. I'll bomb them. And then if they keep going, it's like, okay, so we did what you wanted. And why do you keep going?
Yeah.
Right. We took out what you felt was threatening you. So,
Right.
Why move on? But I don't know. Like I said, we can, just with any of this stuff, it's predictable to be unpredictable.
Right.
So
Well, they'd already taken out most of the commanders of the guard, and stuff. So I think it kind of gave Iran a pretty good warning system to calm down with that death to Israel shit. I think it was already over with, and it should have been once we bombed. That was like the icing on the pie. I think it should have just. I don't think Iran would have shot at them. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm gonna do is probably have a couple shiner box and kind of wait and see
Yeah.
what unfolds.
Yeah, because it changes. In the last week or so, it's changed 5 times a day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Shiner Bock make it all easy anyway. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's my favorite beer. If I buy beer, that's what I buy.
It is a good one. I got a family member that's from an in-law from Katy, Texas, and so he was the one that got me into Shiner a long time ago. Yeah, that's good stuff. I had to say that I'm a Red Stripe guy. I love Red Stripe.
I like Red Stripe.
Yeah, Red Stripe's good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
You've been to the
Brewery?
Shiner plant brewery, haven't you, Mr. Duggar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Shiner, Texas.
Yeah. I didn't, but they didn't have as many new beers as they had when I went. Do you ever drink a Lone Star?
Oh yeah.
That ain't a bad beer.
No, it's
I mean, on a good cold day, it's better than a cold Budweiser.
Yeah, I would
On
compare it
the
to
hot-
something like a Busch Light. Maybe it's not too bad. It's better than a Busch Light. It's better than a Busch Light.
Hell yeah, it's way better than a Busch Light. Better than Bush. Yeah, I got hung up on Shiner Box years ago, man. Years ago. And I like a little sipping whiskey every once in a while, but I don't drink very much at all.
I had to stay away from that.
Well, I'm not a drunk.
Yeah.
I'll drink a couple shots and have beer. That'll give me a couple beers, get a good glow on, and I'm good,
Yeah. No, I guess I had too much of that when I was younger. Didn't bring the best out in me. So
Me and you both, brother.
I stay away from it. So
Been hammered a few times. I never enjoyed it. Not one time.
yeah.
I always liked the glows, though. That's what kept me coming back. And just you get caught up in the middle, And then I started drinking Southern Comfort. But I liked 100 proof Southern Comfort with a squeeze of lime on ice. That's just the toddy there, baby. I'm telling you, it's tasty. And I found my limit with that. I could control it. Because whiskey will slip up behind your underwear, dude. And Southern Comfort's liqueur, it's a little more chilling, even at 100 proof. But that's a tasty little drink. You don't believe me? Try it. Buy you a little bottle of 100 proof and put a good old squeeze of lime on some ice. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah, for the most part, just give me a beer. I'll stay away from everything else.
I quit drinking. I like smoking.
You get out of here.
Believe it or not, I've been known to smoke the devil's herb.
Devil's lettuce.
But now I don't really smoke the devil's lettuce. I smoke God's lettuce. God made that. We took it away from the devil.
Gotcha.
But it's good. And dang, man, I sure had a bad lot going on this year. I had my little farm was looking good, and then I guess the mule deer come by and grazed it out, and the birds ate the ones I tried to replant. And I got 2 more, and then my daughter's dog ate one. So I got one little old plant out there, and it had a good rain. It had a good rain today, though. And, and oh my God, dude, it's just, I don't know. I used to grow mass quans, but I got too many young bucks around here that are my buddies that all are, the magic growers and stuff, and they sell to the dispensaries and stuff like that, and they just bring me a big sack and say, "Here you go." Well, thank you. I had to buy that. I had to buy that shit in 10 years, dude.
I've got a buddy that's he's allergic to yeast, so he doesn't drink beer or anything. But
my God, I almost cut my.
Yeah, he does the other, and like you were talking about, and he's got a fairly decent sized yard, and his wife doesn't necessarily always approve, so he made like a little plant in the back, and he had chickens, and so these chickens were going around eating. He had the garden out there. They were eating the grape tomatoes. The grape tomatoes got too close to the plant. Then they're eating all this stuff together, and then pooping, and he had plants all over his backyard. They started just like coming up all over the place. So thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, that would be horrible to be allergic to yeast.
Yeah.
Cuts out so many good things in life.
Oh yeah. I mean, he sits there and he smiles with a cauliflower piece, and you're just like, yeah, man, whatever. But
Poor bastard.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, I do feel for him. I mean, I've known him since we were kids. I mean, the reactions were pretty bad, and it's not something he grew out of, So.
And people, I feel for
ahead.
people who are allergic to seafood too. Oh my God, I'd end it if I was allergic. Couldn't eat.
Oh yeah.
Or lobster or fish.
Yeah, that's my wife actually.
I became allergic to shellfish like probably like 12 years ago.
Oh man.
Just out of nowhere. I used to eat shellfish all the time. And I kept getting what I thought was food poisoning. But like after the 7th time of sleeping on my bathroom floor for 48 hours, shivering and having nightmares, having hallucinations and going from the, just horrible. Went to the urgent care and I talked to them and they're like, I think it was food poisoning. They're like, does this happen a lot? And I'm like, well, it's happened like 7 times in like the last 2 years. And they're like, well, that's not normal. What have you been eating? And I was sitting, I thought about every time I got food poisoning, it was shellfish. And they're like, you're allergic to shellfish, dummy.
So what was doing it? Which shellfish were you going to, or were you just doing all of them? You to have the same reaction.
It was mostly shrimp.
Shrimp, yeah.
Mostly, I would say. Like shrimp po' boys or,
Mm-hmm.
shrimp
Oh
pasta
my
or
God,
whatever.
dude! I don't know. I think I would just end it all if I couldn't eat shrimp and oysters.
Shrimp
I
Alfredo.
love oysters.
That's a shrimp Alfredo.
It's all right.
How do you like your?
I like
Go ahead, Douglas.
I like boiled shrimp and fried shrimp and scampi. There's 1,000 ways to eat a shrimp.
How do you like the oysters? Do you like them steamed or do you like those fried?
I love them raw. I love them fried. I
Okay.
love them grip on the smoker.
Mhm.
Make a little Rockefeller.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I love
Yeah,
oysters. But I love an oyster poor boy too. Good one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of oysters. I like them mussels,
I like
lobster.
mussels.
Yeah.
If it comes from the sea, I love it. I've never ate anything from there I really didn't like. I'm a big crab freak too. I love crab, blue crab. I want a dose of. I'm thinking about driving down to Texas just to go catch some blue crab.
Sorry.
And eat them till I fall out or shit myself. Look who's here. She has showed up. Somebody eat there.
Holy shit. Sorry. I found a McDonald's burger. That was like there. Why is this like that?
Keep it still.
You're making me dizzy, Nate.
I'm trying to.
What's that? Like a 4-stacker or something?
It's a McDonald's burger.
Is
They
there,
don't.
is there,
They
is
don't
there something
sell that.
special about it? What's up with the burger?
It looks pretty stacked.
Yeah, it looks like it had about 5 racks of meat on it.
It's 9.
I think it's
patty
more than 5.
9 patties.
Yeah. I can't do that. I can't.
You could eat 2 of them.
Yeah, I can eat 2 of them, but I can't I don't have that big of a jaw.
What's the name of that burger? The Death Wish?
I think it was a
Cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
yeah. It's called the T-Rex burger.
Okay.
I think cardiac arrest is a better name. But
Every time I eat McDonald's, which is rare, I feel like death is coming soon.
Yep, exactly. I think Fool's made a good point. He goes, you smell like it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, there's a little bit of truth to that.
yes,
It's just a
GG.
fucking
Have you tried their new chicken strips though?
Ugh. They only give you
No.
3 though.
They're nasty, dude. They're fucking nasty. I don't know what they dipped them in or whatever, but it's nasty.
I haven't tried them, but the only complaint I have about them is they only give you 3 or 4.
You got a double order there, Nate.
Why can't you put like 5 or 6 of them?
I'll eat a breakfast burrito from there, but
That is fire. I will say
Yeah.
that.
yes, yep. It's good
Now, would
stuff.
you put the hot sauce packets sauces on them, or no?
You can get green chili in your burrito here.
Yeah, that's what we do too. Green chili, red chili, whatever we call it.
GG Gooders.
Mega
But-
maggot burger.
But you know, really, what is the McRib? I think it's Soylent Green. I think they're trying to feed you people.
I don't know. All I know is the McRib back in like the late '80s, early '90s. That was yummy.
Yeah.
I do not know what their. It doesn't even come close to the taste now.
No.
No, a couple years ago, I was busy driving. I was, had to eat something on the go, and I saw it, and I was like, that they were back or whatever, and I stopped in there to get one. And I was like, I remember like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, they used to be okay, and I ate them. I couldn't even get to the third bite, man. I was like, this is not real food.
No.
Nope.
It's kind of like the Subway roll.
Yeah.
You know, the Subway roll doesn't have to be FDA approved because it doesn't classify as food. It classifies as plastic. So
Mhm. Yeah.
Whataburger's better, way better than McDonald's.
Whataburger? Yeah.
Whataburger.
You know what's sad? Shake Shack only gives you like small shakes. What the f?
You want like a 44-ounce shake.
A large, yes. Basically, yes. Now, would I down most of the shakes? Well, the shakes if they had large cups, yes, I would. I mean, I would down a large shake from Dairy Queen in less than 5 minutes. No joke.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of shakes, but I'll tell you, In-N-Out Burger, they've got a good Neapolitan milkshake. It's really good.
What's a Politan?
Neapolitan is like strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla.
Oh, so kind of like a swirl, but like okay, gotcha. Because swirls are chocolate and vanilla, but added to strawberry. That's Politan, what we call it.
I'm more of a, I like shakes,
mhm.
but I guess I'm just more of a plain shake. A lot of people get the
Right.
Oreo and all that kind of stuff. I just kind
Yeah.
of like the strawberry. That's
I
it.
never liked strawberry shakes just because it's fruit.
Exactly, beer. Malted shakes are great.
Yeah, malts. I don't know. It's just like I like malts. It's just the some part of the malt or malt shakes. I don't know what it is. Is maybe the powder of the shake that is a malt? I have no idea. It's just like I don't know how to describe it, but it's just that's bitterness in the shake.
You don't go buy a shake. You just go down and buy you a big old box of Bluebell and make your own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you
I
what,
could.
banana pudding Bluebell shake is the titties.
That's pretty legit. It is pretty legit.
Yeah. Actually, that one time TF will remember this. I think LW will remember this too, if it was there. I made the most disgusting shake ever a human made.
A taquito shake, I'm guessing.
No, I'm not even shitting you. I put taquitos in it. I put
Oh, you did. Seriously?
No, I think TF has it still on. his YouTube.
No, I was joking. This is real.
Yeah, it is real.
I know.
Yeah.
I dry heaved when you said that, LW.
I had no idea that was actually going to be it.
Traveling Fools. It has. What do you think, Douglas? I think you remember it, right? Where I basically mix everything in a shake with ice cream. I don't know if you remember that, Douglas, but it's. I don't know how long ago was that.
I remember that one. You was putting hot sauce in it and other shit.
Ranch.
I don't remember, but maybe I blocked
he
it
took him a
out.
big old swallow. He's like, "Was that good?" He goes, "No, not really. That's not good at all."
Oh man, I don't want to get nauseous tonight.
Huh?
Yeah.
Was it like 7 months ago, a year ago? Something like that?
Well, while you find it, Nate,
Yeah.
I did find this video funny. Y'all know when we play Oregon Trail on Fools.
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
I found this on Twitter. It was if Oregon Trail were TikTokers.
Uh-oh.
The year 1848, we just sold the farm, buried Nana, and loaded up the fam and our lives into a homemade wooden box with wheels. Oregon or bust. Hey, Trail fam. Quick update. We've reached the Kansas River, and it is massive. Drop a comment. Should we ford it or caulk the wagon and float? Minor setback. We lost 2 oxen and all our spare wagon wheels. Also, my mother-in-law didn't make it.
Hey guys, sorry for the lack of content lately. Been dealing with some pretty severe dysentery, but he wanted me to keep the channel going.
Today we're showing you how to treat a snake bite. All you need is a hatchet, a belt, and the courage to scream for 3 straight hours. Let's get into it. Quick life update. Ezekiel has cholera. Doctors are saying it's pretty bad, but we're manifesting positive energy.
Anyway, we've made it to Fort Laramie. The vibes here are immaculate. Also, we've decided to leave Ezekiel behind because he was like really.
What's up, Trail Nation? Today we're doing the hunting challenge. I can only carry 100 pounds back to the wagon, but watch me shoot 10,000 pounds of buffalo meat. Martha, hold the camera.
What's up, Trail Army? Martha here with a major life update. The entire wagon train has dysentery, and we're basically living in our own filth.
Hey Trail fam, little update. We are definitely off trail. Haven't eaten in 4 days, but the snow tastes like hope.
So the whole family has typhoid, and Jared broke his leg, but never mind. Jared just died.
Final update.
Oh
We made it to
my God.
Oregon. Actually, it's just me. The fam didn't survive for the finale. Like and subscribe. The year 1848, we just sold the farm, buried Nana, and loaded.
That was fools who made it.
No, that was pure AI.
No, we did it that night when Gutters really loved the caulk, and when she drowned.
Gutters can't make it. I mean, she's
she died because of the caulk.
Yeah,
and Fools was the only one that made it. Everybody else died. I got dysentery, and then no, he got dysentery. I said, I hope you catch dysentery, and he caught dysentery, but he survived. But I broke a leg and then an arm, and just died. He was the only one to make it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she drowned him. You trying to use the chalk? Yeah.
I bet so.
He loves the chalk. What do y'all think I was saying?
I'll be right back.
She wasn't joking. She was, that was chalk. She drowned it.
I got. So. Oh shit.
Yeah, man. I don't know how to pull that shit up. I dropped some.
So, Duggar, I gotta ask you something. I saw something on the news. Are you getting a lot of rain, or is New Mexico
We getting a lot of rain. I'm getting a significant amount of rain. It rained for 3 straight hours, and about an hour and a half of it was getting with it.
Yeah.
So there's some flooded arroyos out,
Right.
arroyos out here.
Yeah, they were saying like to get rain in your area right now is like 1 in 100.
Yeah, it's beautiful. My whole yard, it's been getting a little moisture though. My whole yard's green, dude. It happens about once every 4 years. You know, I have rock skates, so you know the deer come through and chew it up. You know, and what they don't get gets too big, it'll turn brown before the summer's over. You know, and but yeah, it came a turd floater here today, brother. I am not kidding you.
Yeah, they said some of y'all were getting like 4 to 5 inches in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, it would get wet. And I live up on the side of a mountain, you understand. I don't live at the top, but I'm pretty high. And I live high on the mountain too. Oh, but when it thunders and it was like right over me, it just shook my whole establishment. I literally had a coffee cup with a spoon in it, and it rattled that spoon.
All right.
You know,
well, let me
like
ask you this: you said you live on a mountain, right?
Yeah.
A lot of mornings, do you wake up and the clouds are below?
I don't live up that high. I have been in the cloud. I have been in the clouds a couple of times where I'm at.
Yeah.
But it's very seldom. I'm pretty far down from my high spots.
I got you.
But I'm still, you know, going up the mountain. I live at the end of the road. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. It's nothing real high, but it's still, I got mule deer walk through my yard, turkey, you know, everything that lives here except grouse. It's not really
mansioning
real high up, you know, where the grouse are, but it's pretty cool here, you know. And I tell you what, that's what I've been enjoying is the cool weather. I mean, I opened that door and it was like air conditioning, bro.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you know, we don't have like air conditioners. I have a swamp cooler, even though there's no swamps there, you know, so, but it blows really cold, keeps my house really nicely chilled out. So very livable. I've never, you know, really sweated it in here, but it can get hot in this sucker. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I got plenty of windows and stuff, and but it stays. I don't ever open them though because that swamp cooler just keeps this place so cool. But to see the kind of raid, I guarantee somewhere up above Madrid, if they got as much rain as I did, there's little ponds that have, you know, or little low areas that make little ponds, and there'll be these frogs that have been under the ground for a year or two that'll pop up inside that pond and start making little frogs. It's the coolest thing you ever seen in your life, dude. Just all of a sudden, there's these frogs everywhere in this big old water hole, and they got to be the fastest tadpole to frogs you ever seen. I mean, week to 10 days, they'll go from being a tadpole to start getting legs and shit, ready to come out and be a frog. But once they get their feet, they can actually bury under the mud. Also, is what I heard. I don't know how true that is.
Interesting. No, it's been brutal here with the heat.
Yeah.
So
where you live?
South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I used to fish out of South Carolina.
It's humid as hell there too, isn't it?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right on the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. Like down in the Charleston area, that's rough, man. That's rough. I mean, up where I'm from, there's a little bit more mountain, so you're a little bit higher, but still it's hot. But yeah, down in the Charleston area, down on the beach, it's unforgiving.
I'm trying to find some funny videos, but everything's about the war.
Is it?
I got one, W. I found Bigfoot.
If this is that freaking taquito milkshake, I'm suing you, Nate. What is this?
It's a Bigfoot.
What is this from?
Oh,
hey, is this an AI?
Yeah, it's that one. It's like the Oregon Shell related.
Yeah.
Kind of like the AI one with the Oregon Trail.
Looking for Littlefoot.
You can't shoot me. I'm not black enough.
Some of you in the comments say I'm not real. If I'm not real, could I do this? Okay. Which one of you filmed me secretly last week and posted it on TikTok? I'm serious. That was my nap spot. All right. So I think the locals left this thing called an energy drink. Let's take a sip. Oh, I'm going to crash out. I don't know what was in that, but I can't freaking sleep. Oh, might as well get morning scrub ready. I'm tweaking.
You ever see that old video of the humans capturing that Bigfoot video?
That was me walking. I took some shrooms and got lost.
Well, guys, after 847 years, Mom says it's time I find my own place. Apparently, I need space to grow, whatever that means. All right, first place on the list. It's rustic, which is realtor speak for. Probably raccoons inside.
Okay. No, there you go. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them out. I like them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been watching them.
They've been running on shorts.
I think the one I was dying laughing and when I first saw it was the hey, you can't shoot me, I'm not black enough.
Yeah. Why is that funny, Nate?
Just
kidding, Nate. It's fucking with you.
I just think it was hilarious.
There's T Skates there, LW.
Hey TK or T Skates.
Oh yeah, I'm looking on Twitter. Yeah, I saw it. Hey TK. Trying to find something here. I didn't want to talk over the video.
Hi, darling. You good people, man.
Oh, good Lord. You can type something. Oh, good Lord.
Wait, what?
When you type something on Twitter, it's not even that bad.
Oh.
But it'll be attached to very bad things.
Oh, okay.
Like in some hashtag or something. Good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be careful before you pull something up. Live on YouTube. Jesus Christ. I did not want to see what I just saw.
He made a clip of it. That's what that means.
Save that for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely been bookmarked.
Him and Mr. Towie.
Okay, I'm sorry, TK. I don't remember how many months ago or a year ago. I really don't know. I couldn't find the video for me making a shake. I can't remember. So
we're off that subject. We're way back. we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk something with some sense tonight on this show. It ain't all just about eating tacos and taquitos and milkshake.
Oh, come on, Mr. Duggar.
I want to talk some chemtrail conspiracies or something. Jesus, let's spice this bitch up.
No barbecue talk, Mr. Duggar?
I'm barbecued out. I will tell you some good news.
I knew it.
I have some excellent news.
Uh-oh.
Me and my buddy sold a house.
Wait, today?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Nice.
we buy and resell houses, wholesale them, and we hit a hell of a lick. So everybody drink a beer.
There you go.
And all it was is we asked the Lord. Because my partner was getting down. He'd spent money. Shit, he had car troubles, money going out that he didn't have coming back in, rent due, and all that shit. And boom, 65 G's.
There you go.
That's a good lick too, man.
Yeah. That's fun.
And for $499, I'll teach you how to do that. Personal.
Yeah.
Zero out of pocket. The $499 is for my time. Hey, that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we had nothing invested, and got to have a little personality in that biz. You know, I am a licensed real estate agent with a lapsed license. I realized I didn't have to have it for what we do, which I prefer doing over meet people to show them a house. You know, I want somebody that wants to put some skin into the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a godsend. So congratulations to me. Tee tee tee.
And
nice.
Is it are you buying it because they didn't pay their taxes, Douglas?
No. We all those them do come up.
Sure.
You know, and then we'll go in there and we'll tell the owner, you know, we'll sell it for you and make sure you get a check out of it instead of just being holding a bag, a nada. You know, because if we come in and we retain the right to sell it, then that's a free money shot. And you split it you take your fees out of it, of course, but they get a big check. They're happy. You make a little money. The bank's happy. But you got to know what you're doing. You can't just, because you can be held liable for missed documents and stuff and filed wrong. So you got to know kind of what you're doing. If you don't, you really ain't got a shot at being doing it. You'd have to hire somebody to do it, which eats into your money, and just learn what you're doing. It's like anything, If you can sell a car, you can sell a house. You can sell a bubble gum, you can sell a car. I mean, it was fun. God is great. Jesus is all high and mighty in my book. We asked for it and he gave it, That's never mind. We need to start going preaching again, so I'll spare y'all that. Y'all know where my body lies. What else is going on? We have any other news except for the war there, LW, that you know of?
Hey, Traveling Fools, is that you, buddy?
Of course it is.
Shit.
What'd you say, Mr. Duggar? What'd you ask me?
I said, what else is going on besides the war?
I mean, in political news, I think that's pretty much the main thingamabopper. I don't see too much else, but
did you see that? Did you see that Zelensky finally wore a suit to meet with Trump today?
I just saw that when I was scrolling through Twitter trying to look for some funny videos, and I did see that. I tried to pull it up, and then my Twitter crashed.
He wore a suit.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. He come up there to say, Don, don't have me killed. Please don't have me killed. Kiss the ring or what?
Yeah, just not in the White House. Just not in the White House where you're there to beg for $100 billion. It's like Tim Pool. That guy will not take that beanie off for nothing.
I think
go to the White.
Where do you get the money for a suit?
Right.
What'd you say? What did you say? Well, don't answer me.
I don't know. Is there some audio difficulties?
I don't know. I think he said, where did he get the money for the suit? But I mean, it's not like his wife has all designer clothes and bought a new like Ferrari or Lamborghini and all that shit. They got the money.
Hmm? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He's got a wife. That's the most surprising thing I've heard.
Well, it's 2025, so I think you can use that term loosely.
Sort of like Obama, you know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. Not.
I like Big Mike.
I like Big Mike. Not.
Not.
Oh my God, dude. But a suit. Was it a green suit?
No, it was a black suit. He actually, you know, had a like peacoat kind of looking jacket on too. Like he was all dressed up. I think after last time when Trump scolded him for coming to the White House in a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe he figured he'd better dress up a little bit if he wanted any more of that change.
So did you catch anything on the conversation they had?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, I wonder what the interaction was like.
Like
It'd
been
be
a
awesome
while.
if you showed up with a T-shirt that has the tuxedo on it.
Tuxedo t-shirt.
I wonder what happened to all those stories about they would find Ukrainians trying to flee the country with suitcases of cash, like $800,000 from a couple of years ago. Those stories came and went in the news fast.
Damn it.
Haven't heard Hunter in a while.
No.
You haven't bought one of his paintings for $80,000?
I think his paintings are kind of like went down. You could get one pretty cheap now. What else? Spit it out.
So what are you up to tonight, fools? What have you been doing besides trivia questions? Or is that your whole life tonight, too?
To the porch he went.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted. Yeah, just trivia questions. That's about all.
Nice.
You do that a couple nights a week at a real bar setting, right?
Yeah, 3 nights. 3 nights a week.
Wow, look at Mr. Fancy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Do you just give them all the same trivia questions each week?
No, because sometimes some people go, you know, there'll be some people you'll see 3 nights a week at different places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that easy.
Yeah. How's it going, TF?
Doing good, Nate. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
What's new in the world of Nate?
Well, I was gonna tell you guys. I think I told Pete and the gang on his podcast, but on here, I you know that sheltering or no, the place I was talking about, the special needs adults that can get their own apartment and stuff a while back. Like how I said, the building's getting built and stuff. So apparently I am on the list, which means when it first opens, I'll be the first one of the first ones to get into the apartment. So I'm basically getting my own apartment when it opens.
Nice.
So the good thing about this apartment facility is that it's like a Section 8. So basically a lower funding or a lower, what do we call it? But I get assistance, I don't have to pay like the whole thing, which means I pay 1/3 of the bill, I guess, my apartment bill, I guess. I don't know, but I have no experience, so I have no idea. I'm just guessing. But
So are you going to move into this place?
yes,
Now what does your mom think about this?
well, she's she's excited for me, but she's also probably a little nervous because she doesn't want me to move out.
Now what does your dad think about this?
He wants me to move out.
Okay, he's ready. He's like, all right, see you, Nate. Have fun."
Yeah. Basically,
Do you think your dad is looking forward to a cheaper grocery bill?
yeah, yep.
He'll be able to afford that Porsche he always wanted.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be on a boat soon.
ACK for helping for that. 'Cause I don't know. It's a basically what do you call it? Apartment, but it's like a assisted living kind of, but just for like special needs adults. But
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Nate. To go be your own man. You'll like it.
That's right.
Hopefully I do.
And your dad gets a sport car. You'll probably have a personalized tag that says taquitos on the back of it.
Yeah. And plus I can stream games on.
But you are leaving them full freezers behind.
No, they're gonna have freezers and fridges already.
Okay.
So.
No, I heard most of those places, I heard they have a no taquito rule. That there's absolutely no taquitos allowed at any of these places.
That's true.
Yeah,
no taquitos, no no cookies, no video games, nothing.
No bagel bites.
no.
Man, you're turning me into a healthy than a slob.
No
Come on.
Pop-Tarts, no
I thought I'm part of the Salt Olympics. I'm just kidding.
His parents are going to kill you, TS.
Right. His dad's watching that new 9/11 float away right now.
He's sitting there going, "Oh no, not on my watch! Hell no!"
Yeah.
Oh.
So Nate, how far is it from your parents' house?
15 minutes.
Okay.
That ain't bad.
Yeah. It's by a lake in a middle school.
Okay.
Nice.
So I can walk to a lake to go, or walk to the lake go fishing on my fishing pole. So
there you go. Well, that's supper right there.
yeah. But yeah, I just thought to tell you guys, remind you guys I'm moving in possibly in next spring.
Okay.
But because it's not built yet, so
You gonna get you a bike for traveling with?
I could. I mean, I think the bike I would like those big wheel bikes, like the hiking bikes. I don't know what you call them, but
Mountain bikes?
yeah. Even though we don't have mountains, but still. Man, I'm gonna travel the world. I'm not gonna lie. Just kidding.
You want to go to Iran with traveling fools?
Oh no, I'm good.
That's definitely my next stop is Iran.
I was actually going to go to Greece, but okay. I've never been there. Well, actually, I've never been to Europe in general or Asia.
Yeah, I was talking about earlier with Mr. Duggar when we were talking about the whole Iran thing. I guess since that's been in the news and it's in my feed on my YouTube algorithm, both Israel and Iran, there'll be videos of like travel videos and these food people go around the whole country trying to put. I was saying it looks so normal in the capital of Iran. They're just normal people, you know.
Yeah.
Looks like a nice city, and like I was telling Mr. Duggar, it's probably nicer than half American big cities. They seem like normal people.
Mhm.
Yeah, they cut your hand off.
You know, you see the pictures from like the 70s and the 60s, and it really does look pretty Western, back then compared to what it is now.
Yeah, definitely a totally different different world. The women used to walk around in normal clothes and look normal, now they they sure don't look normal now.
Well, the video I was watching yesterday, it was just this dude with the camera walking around the big city with 10 million people. He said it is a rule that they have to wear they don't have to cover their face, but they have to wear the scarf thing. But he's like, as you notice, and you did notice in the video, everybody there's a whole bunch of, especially the younger women, they weren't wearing the scarf. They were like, we're protesting. We're not wearing, we're not wearing it. And they don't really enforce it like I think people think they do.
Yeah.
And you could say, oh, it's probably a, controlled visit or something like that, but it's really not. I mean, it was a city with 10 million people, He's walking around with 15,000 people walking down the city streets.
Who's this guy on the screen, LW?
Oh, you had mentioned something about Hunter Biden. I had this video. It's just a funny little 1 minute clip. Chris Cuomo talking to Tim Dillon about Hunter Biden.
That's Fredo.
Yeah, meatball.
Frodo or Frito?
I called him meatball on Twitter one time, and he didn't say anything. He just liked my tweet. But I'll play it real quick.
With Trump, okay? You can write 3 books on how what happened to him with Russia Gate or whatever you want to call it was wrong. What was the first thing he did when he got in power? He went after Biden for being a Ukrainian-Russian plant. The first thing he did was go after Biden and his son, weaponizing a guy's addiction. I don't know how much you know about that world, but unfortunately,
I was an addict for many years. From when I started doing cocaine at 12 and I stopped at 25, and I never ended up in the Ukraine, and I never took a photo of everything I did and put it on a laptop.
But you know
and then
very
dropped
well
it off at Circuit City.
But you know very well that Hunter Biden is a typical drug-addled person.
I
Now,
know.
I'm not saying that he didn't do business
drug-addled
deals.
people. Very few of them ended up in the Ukraine, and I mean, their dads are the vice president.
It's not about why he wasn't
It's
in
a
the
unique
Ukraine.
life. Let's say that. It's a unique life.
You would have to look at
none of my drug addict friends ended up in Malibu selling art for $80,000.
You would have to find drug-addled people who also were wealthy with connections of people in power, right?
Okay, that's
a
very
lot of,
true.
A
That
lot
may
of
be
junkies
true.
don't wind up that way.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That one guy, he's like, yeah, well, I definitely didn't, drop it off at Circuit City,
Right. Yeah, not every drug addict commits crimes, records it, and drops it off at a fucking laptop store and forgets it.
I like the way they always make you want to presume, like, Hunter's, he's just a kid. That motherfucker's 45, 55 years old now.
Yeah, he's got to be like 55 now, I think. Yeah, he's definitely not a kid anymore.
No.
Definitely not like a little kid.
And they're guilty. You know what I mean?
Be right back.
I don't know what to say. It's like homie just said, it pays to know people in power, I guess.
I guess so. I mean,
Can't say it doesn't have its benefits. Of course it does.
Yeah.
good old Hunter Biden.
That dude was like a two-tailed cat, man. You know what I mean?
Remember when Biden went on and on about how, before he's like, well, I would never pardon my son. I would never pardon my son. And right before he leaves, he's like, well, I'm going to pardon my son. It's like everybody knew he was going to do it. I don't hold it against him because anybody would. But,
he was like the only one he actually used the pen for that he wrote. The rest of them were signed by the automatic pen. All the other, I think them sooner or later are going to be blown out of Supreme Court that they're illegal. All them pardons. He pardoned thousands of people. So an automatic pen. He hadn't a clue of none of them people who got pardoned. He even got mad on live TV. So I didn't pardon him. Oh yeah, you did. The pouch.
But everybody knew that he was going to, pardon Hunter. And any father would pardon their own son. I mean, that's just obvious. But he shouldn't have gone on and on saying, I'm not going to.
I like the way they think, though. Not since September 14th, 1994 to present time. He don't have to answer none of that shit. Wiped out all his crimes. So I don't know, man. And that's how they kind of structured a lot of the other pardons too, And what about the people of the J6 committee that just got rid of all the evidence? That's just accepted now? That's set a precedent? Oh yeah, if we get into a big squash, we can just, destroy all our evidence anyway. I don't know, man. It's fucking contrived bullshit. Just drives me mad sometimes.
What drives you mad, Mr. Duggar? Hey, Big Dog Mom.
Government.
Fools, what did you think about I don't know if you were here earlier when I was playing the Thomas Massey clip. How he was talking about these big bills we always talk about, like oxygen for your grandma, but also in the bill, we're going to put chips in your brain.
Yeah, I mean, we all totally agree on it. I think 99% of Americans agree, 99.9, I would say, agree that bills should be straightforward. Hey, would you like to vote to not tax Social Security?
Yeah.
Okay, we can all vote to not tax Social Security. Everybody agrees. You don't have to say, and we're voting for, health care, for, birth control and this thing for people in Uganda. Well, that's got to be in there too. Then it's like, well, I don't know that we want to pay for this in Uganda. And they're like, they voted against health care for, the whole thing makes sense. It's straight bills. Straight bills is the only way to do it. But that'll never happen because then, both the parties are tied together. They have to have those things so they can point and have commercials about. Yeah, I watched that Thomas Massey thing. I think it was yesterday I watched it.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense.
Yeah, and like he said, and it's kind of fucked up how they do it. He says they always put some sort of form of funding the troops in every big bill, whether it's small or, no matter what the size, so they can use it against you in campaign, well, he didn't vote for the bill supporting troops on all the commercials, running it. It's just so jacked up how it all works, Then you're the guy who doesn't support the troops.
Right, 100%. And that's why they do that. And both sides do it. Both are guilty of doing that.
Absolutely. And I think, it's like I always say, I think it's healthy to be skeptical of your government, even the people you vote for. You're supposed to hold everybody. It's like the stupid mainstream media, like cable news and New York Times. Your job is to go question to make sure what they're telling you is the truth. It's not to just read their press release to the American people. That's not journalism, I could do that.
Well, since they don't have an auditor one that follows billions and trillions of dollars around, seeing how it's really dispersed, who's actually getting it, and was it used in a proper way? I mean, it's like just throwing it out of a freaking airplane. Take it up in the air and throw it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that rail line in California. How many billions of dollars? I mean, good Lord, stuff costs money to build, but you ought to be able to see some rail line for billions upon billions of dollars. You know, fucking Elon sends spaceships up there. You know, come on. He's rich, but you know, government's got more money than him.
Oh, he's wealthy.
Yeah, he's really wealthy.
Does the government really have more money than him?
Right. Can we go take a peek inside Fort Knox?
The last time I checked, the government was what? How many trillions of dollars? 30 trillion or something in debt?
Yeah,
37.
Yeah. Yeah. Point well taken. So that's
Yeah, it's like the first 200 years of America. It took 200 years to get to 1 trillion, and then just in the last 35 years, it's gone from 1 trillion to 37 trillion.
I mean, I'd almost go out on a limb and say that everybody on this panel has more money than the government.
Yeah, now the way you put it, yeah, makes perfectly good sense. I think we're almost to the point where somebody runs up and gets the mic and say, "Hey, we're going to do do-overs. All debt that we owed, we don't owe nobody nothing now. So sorry, you got caught up in it, but that's what it is now. Who wants to do business? They're going to have to do that, you know."
Didn't J.P. Morgan bail out the U.S. government at one time?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same as that, that person that, lives in a $2 million house but has $3 million debt.
Yeah, exactly.
Float disaster waiting to happen.
Oh, I've got a couple friends, man. They've got a big ass nice house, a pool in the backyard. They get new cars every 3 years. I've had friends ask me for $50.
Right, they're like that guy outside of the bar trying to bum a smoke off of you. Right. You gonna get a smoke? I'll give you a quarter.
I mean, they are living beyond their means, just to have nice stuff, But
I want to ask you a question. When somebody offers you a quarter for a cigarette, does that make you kind of mad?
Yeah, I'd almost just rather kick them in the nuts, but
say, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?"
Hey, are you getting background noise from me right now?
No. Okay. Is it me?
No. I just want to make sure. I'm trying to dial in this new soundboard, and I'm trying to do it while we're talking. But I've got this new headphones too, and they're so sensitive that I can hear my air conditioner running in my fucking headphones outside.
Wow!
And as long as you can't hear it, I'm good. So.
No, you're pretty clear.
Pretty clear?
Yeah, pretty good for you. Better. God, I forget who I talked to. Oh, great snob of the top there. Your audio is far surpassing anything near or far. We surrender to your articulate wave of clearness.
Just making sure.
Hey, dude, 1,000 thanks to you for the equipment you've given me and helped me set the fuck up. I feel so much better about my audio now.
Yeah, me too. We can actually hear you.
My nose actually turned up a little bit since got it hooked up, got a little pointed up in the air. It's wonderful. Never seen such a wonderful audio.
And Gutter's in the chat there. I left you a comment on your community post. I'm not sure if you saw it yet or not, but I did leave you one.
I did too. I waited around for an hour and 38 minutes waiting for you to go live.
What is she hiding from us for? Why is she hiding?
Well, I think last time I heard she's in the Maldives.
Is she in the wilderness? Glamping?
She don't know what she's doing. Even on vacation, she's got to get back to YouTube and her audio snob buddies. Either that or Marv kicked her out of the RV and said, "Go outside for a little while and get on YouTube." Go talk to your poor ass friends.
We're a punishment.
Yeah, he's in the camper there, and he's like, yeah, I wish we'd go back and talk to the pores a little more. You're getting a bit too big for your britches here, lady.
Well, by chance, can I borrow $50?
Go back to where, by God, the only judgment that is you're not like them. Go talk to them and remind you where you could be now. In the forest with Bigfoot. Oh wow,
she's fun to get riled up.
Oh,
who? Gutters getting riled up? I don't think I've ever seen Gutters get riled up.
Oh my God, I had her. We had her bent out of shape one night, man. We were just trolling the shit out of her, and then all of a sudden it hit her that we were trolling her, and that made her even madder because she we were busting her chops hard, dude. It was so fun.
You can feel the blood pressure going up through the
right
through YouTube. I did see some clips today with Joe Rogan interviewing Mr. Duggar's favorite politician, Bernie Sanders. It was pretty interesting.
I hate you, OW.
I didn't know that Duggars was a Bernie fan.
He is.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's a Bernie bro.
Bernie bros.
Got the shirt and all.
Duggar was texting me earlier. He was like, "What's up with this climate change, LW?" It's like, what are we going to do about it? And I was like, it's okay. He's like, well, he's total Bernie bro. The top 1%.
Just because I feel everyone should have free hospitalization. Free.
You gotta love you gotta love Bernie Sanders though. He's what, 75 years old or whatever the fuck. That he's never had a recorded job other than
he's never worked, he's never anything.
Yeah.
Right.
He claims before he started the community outreach, whatever the fuck, those people do. That's all a scam. But that he used to be a carpenter for cash, when he was young. There's no record of him. Other than that, that's his only job. Is like he said, when he was 19 years old, he swung a hammer for about a year.
Yeah, him and Jesus, right?
Right. And he owns 3 homes.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm just trying to keep.
He's walking around and breathing still.
I got 14 good people watching, so I'm just trying to keep this going here. I'm going to play a little video of him and Joe Rogan going at it about climate change, if you don't mind. Y'all mind?
Yeah.
Hello.
Your show, man. I'm just living in it.
Yeah.
We don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
We're just politics.
No, I want to see it. I want to see it. Play it away.
I want to see it.
Play it away.
Climate change issue. And I know that, there are some people who think climate change is a hoax. It ain't a hoax. I think the last 10 years have been the warmest on record. And we can create millions of good paying jobs, transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency, to solar, to wind, and other sustainable energies.
I think the climate change issue is very complicated. And I think, did you see the Washington Post piece that they wrote, where they did this long-term view? First of all, the reality is that the Earth's temperature has never been static, right? We could both agree on that. It's always been up and down. There's been ice ages and heat waves. And then the Washington Post looked at it. What was the time period that they looked at? That essentially they found that we're in a cooling period. That the Earth over the past X amount of years, and this was like a very inconvenient discovery, but they had to report the data, and kudos to them for doing that. Scientists have captured the Earth's climate change over the last 485 million years. Here's a surprising place we stand now. So look at the far end of that graph, and you see we're in a cooling period.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't read that article, but
Yeah.
The scientists who are out there, I think.
I know, but there's a lot of money involved in that too, Bernie. That's part of the problem. There's a lot of money involved in this whole climate change emergency issue, and there's a lot of control, and that's a big part of this problem.
I don't know if Bernie's ever been talked to by an adult before.
I know, right?
It looked like it confused the shit out of him.
My thing is he's got 3 houses and not one damn comb.
Yeah. I'm surprised he wouldn't wear it. He was ripped off, dude. He totally was the people's choice, but the less choice before they stuck in Biden.
Well, Hillary, and I don't think he was ripped off. I think he was bought off.
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't bitch about it at all.
Yeah, that's true.
All his fans, voters bitched about it. They're like, "Why don't you say anything?" He's like, "Well, blah, 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 blah."
Well, I'm at my new house. He ended up with that new house up there on the beach or something, wasn't it?
They all do. I mean, Bill Gates bitches about climate change all the time too. His beach house in San Diego is like 50 yards from the water. He's got a beach house in Florida, and he lives on the water and right outside of Seattle on Washington coast. They're not afraid of it. Obama's right on the water. None of them are afraid of it.
Well, one of the most interesting things I heard on that was the way that that that's all bullshit, with the happening in 20 years or happening in 30 years, is insurance companies. There is no way that these people could take out loan, or do whatever, these rich people, build these houses and get insurance coverage on something that's going to be covered up in water in 5 years.
That and developers, they keep developing homes,
mortgage companies,
condos, and more, right on the coast in Florida and all this stuff. And I've been hearing since 91 when I was like 14 years old. Florida's going to be underwater by 2020 or 2005. They wouldn't keep investors will not spend money if they think it's going to be bad. And they check these things. They check the science on it. They know it's bullshit.
I grew up in the Keys, and the house that we grew up in is right on the water, and there's a rock where done up to keep the little canal where the boat dock is. That water level is exactly the same. There is no difference. It's the exact same thing it was from as far as I can remember in about 1980 to, I couldn't remember when I was 2 or something, but from the time I was a little kid, it looks the exact same then as it does now.
Yeah, and that's what's so bad about it, right? Newspapers, New York Times, cable news, the only people who ask these politicians tough questions are fucking comedians. It's an insane place where we're at, comedians and Tucker Carlson. That's your best journalist today,
How dare you?
Right.
Remember when she won Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh my God.
But so did Adolf Hitler. So
so did the guy that wrote about Trump. The Russian hoax people.
Yeah.
And they have never retracted that. And he's called for that retraction several times.
Yeah, good guy to listen to about the climate is Randall Carlson. He really does a lot of stuff on that. It's so much more complicated than the way that they put it.
I love Randall Carlson. He's great. Yeah,
I can listen to him. I do listen to him all the time, for hours while I'm working or doing something. I love listening to him.
Yeah, man. I see somebody put up there about old Carlton. You know, he's George Carlson. He would have been all into this shit right now. He was kind of a liberal leaning guy too, but he carried mostly in the middle. So, but the ironies of the stuff that's going on now, you can't trust either side. There's people that you have hope for, you know, and it's because I think they're personally our best shot at retaining our republic, but the best shot at living free in my daughter's old age, to her old age, you know. Grandchildren are going to be on their own, you know. I don't know what else to say. These people here are not in our best, you know, looking out to our best interests until I think Trump came along. And the Republicans need to grow some balls. The libs need to catch their brain. And the people who's playing both sides of the fence need to be tossed out of the Congress. You know, that are undercover agents for the other sides.
Yeah.
You know, we want somebody that's speaking their mind and not getting paid to pay.
I want to know with Gutter's comment right now, does that mean he is really going to become a king?
I don't think he would take it.
Well, she says Trump's up for the noble right now. So I just wasn't sure, you know. Maybe that meant he was actually going to become a king. That would be, I mean, you know.
All hell, King Donald, all hell.
All right, now I'm just interested in these Bernie Joe Rogan clips. I'm going to play another one.
Got to say, I mean, one of the things, and there's a lot of arguments about Trump, that worries me very, very much is this movement toward authoritarianism and going after media, suing media, taking away the authority that Congress has.
When you say suing media, are you talking about the CBS lawsuit?
Among other things.
Right, but don't you think there's a real issue with what they did?
No. In this sense,
you don't think that there's a real issue in editing conversations to give someone an answer
Joe,
that's different than what they really answered?
Joe, I've been on 8 zillion shows, right? In my life.
Okay.
Okay. Now, should I sue you if you ask me some stupid question that I don't like, right? Or that you do something? Do I have a right? Should I sue you?
Yeah, but that's not what he's getting.
When you listen to these people do these interviews with people like Joe Rogan, you realize how stupid they are. He's stupid. Yeah. He's not a smart guy.
Right, because Joe Rogan clearly said when they edit it to make him say something else they shouldn't, and he instantly goes to, should I sue you if you ask me a question I don't like?
Right. It's so easy to tell if you have, you know, any brain cells to rub together.
Well, he has sued ABC.
Mm-hmm.
He has sued Meta. He is suing the Des Moines Register because of a poll that came out during the campaign that he didn't like. All right. He is suing CBS for this Kamala Harris interview. So do I think how many, I cannot tell you the number of stories done about me that were not good stories.
Right.
That were dishonest stories. That's what a free press is about. You don't like it, you got to live with it. All right. You do something, I'm not going to sue you, Joe.
Right, but it's not that simple, right? Like, let's not talk about Trump, but let's talk about another candidate. Let's just imagine there's someone on the right and someone on the left, and there's a concerted effort to promote this person that's on the right. And so the polls are rigged, or these are funded polls that make it look like this person on the right is winning by a substantial margin. And what this does is decreases the motivation that people have to come out and vote against them.
That's happening.
So it's fake.
By the way, that happens right now.
It is happening right now. And I think, is that part of what he's suing them about?
No, but doesn't look.
But isn't that what he's suing them about?
Well, he's suing ABC for one thing.
But with the Des Moines Register about the poll.
Yeah, I know the poll's there.
Was the poll incorrect?
Yeah, the poll was wrong. So what? Guess what?
But what did they know it was incorrect when they published it?
No, they published what they thought was an accurate poll. But that pollster, by the way, what's the name? Seltzer polls.
I should just state for the record, I don't know this lawsuit, but
what it was about.
But I am aware that in talking to people that understand polls, that some of these are politically.
All right, but the answer is
he doesn't know what to do other than screaming, "The top 1%." The top 1%. He doesn't know anything outside of that.
Are dishonest. None of them. He was nothing dishonest on my side. I'm just having you know that right now.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah, the Bernie Bros, they were some of my favorite because every one of them, all they wanted was basically free stuff. I mean, it was like coming down to, the Universal. It's like that Andrew Yang or whatever. It was kind of the same team. All the universal, checks or whatever, blah, 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 the more free stuff we can get. We don't have to be accountable for anything. Just let everybody else do everything for us. But what they don't realize is there's got to be somebody to do it.
Right. 100%.
Yes and no. There are polls right now doing exactly what you say.
Right.
I could doctor a poll. I could talk to more conservative, more progressive people, get the results that I kind of want, right?
And they do it to motivate people or demotivate people to vote, and it's effective.
It has an impact. All right. On the other hand, this particular poster, it's the Des Moines Register, not a huge newspaper. I bumped into them because when you're running Democratic primaries, Iowa is a big deal. They are a very, very respected pollster. Okay, they don't doctor polls. So they made a mistake on a poll. It turns out they had Trump doing worse than he ended up doing. Guess what?
To clarify, correct me if I'm wrong, but every poll in Iowa had Trump winning by like 3 or 4%. This one poll they're talking about had him losing by like, 13, 14%? It was ridiculous.
Posters, honest posters, make mistakes too.
But what is the basis of his lawsuit? Like, what is he saying in
I
the
think
lawsuit?
he is saying that gave energy to his opponents and that it was... He's
like
saying,
we talked about.
like you talked about, but I don't believe that's the case. There are honest pollsters who make mistakes.
But what about the other the other lawsuit with the conversation that they had with Kamala Harris, where they edited the answers that she had to make it look more precise?
60 Minutes, they were suing 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Is, to my mind, historically, been around for a very long time.
That was the biggest BS
not
interview. They totally
I think
edited the whole thing. Yeah, sorry to interrupt the video, but that was a total BS interview.
I have to pause it anyway every now and then. Yeah, 100%. She looked really bad in that interview. There was a reason they edited it. She was terrible. She was horrible.
Right. The whole thing was completely and totally just edited. I mean, they go back and show like what it actually was.
Yeah, and she was stuttering around. She had to she was like, and they cut out all that stuff. Like where she just couldn't answer a question and had to think about it for and they actually moved things around, they completely edited it.
Right, that's what I mean. They changed the order of stuff. They changed everything about it from what I remember.
And in my opinion, that's election fraud.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, that is it is definitely election interference.
Oh yeah, interference, yeah.
And yeah, you got to remember too, when Biden went through his debate with him, they didn't even shield him a bit. That's when they were trying to push Kamala. That Joe was already gone. They wanted him out. And that's why they didn't shield him. But then they get to the female monkey over there, and I shouldn't say that because somebody misconstrue that. She's a smart person.
We'll have the producer take that out in editing.
Thank you. I don't mean that in any racial way.
LW will get in touch with his buddy Mark Levin and get
Mr. Well, anyway, they didn't shield him at all. That was the way they kicked him out, and was trying to make sure that their choice would get in there. You know what I mean? So that's the whole reason behind that little move. And every time they try to fix something, they screw it up. And so, I mean, they're getting tired of losing. Trump had a big win streak going. So it's I don't know, man. It's politics that drives you crazy when you know they're bullshitting us.
Did Pete did just leave? Oh, sorry, I was doing the video.
Yeah, he put a comment in the chat saying that he had to drop off. He was getting tired and going to bed, but thanks for having him up.
Oh, I appreciate it, Pete did it. Sorry about that. Hey, Jesse. What's going on, Jesse?
Yeah, politics are just, they all lie to us. Sorry, you go ahead and play.
No, we don't have to keep. Well, I just want to see. I'm just curious. Kind of. I haven't watched this video. I just want to see where it goes a little bit. We can pause it and bullshit or whatever. It's not too much longer.
And your opinion of this man is what, LW? What do you think about
He loves them.
I mean, I'm a Bernie bro. No, I think he's a fraud. He's a fraud. He's a socialist, probably closer to communist fraud.
Marxist.
There's a lot of things. I mean, but that's where they kind of like dip into and convince people to go their way, because he's absolutely right on healthcare. I think all three of us will agree that healthcare is fucked up, right?
Yeah.
But all of his other
100%.
stuff, all of his other stuff is just kooky. Just kooky. It should, that anybody who's worked in any business or logistics or ran a business knows his ideas are just impossible, and they only it's some weird utopia that doesn't exist. It's never worked anywhere, and they keep pushing it.
Well, somehow the people who actually pay for health care have to pay more now so that the people who never did can have it for free.
Right. And there's a whole bunch of contractors who get fucked, you know?
Yeah, and leaving the self-employed and the middle class struggling to be able to go to the doctor.
Right. I was a contractor at Hewlett Packard for 4 years. I didn't have any health insurance because when they bought Compaq, they stopped hiring new employees and they just put everybody as a contractor. But I needed a job and they hired me, and I didn't have health insurance for 4 fucking years.
Different people will say 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigative journalism. Are they wrong?
But that's not investigative journalism if you change someone's answers. If you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent.
Joe, then you're walking down. You're walking down a dangerous path. Suing media has the impact of intimidating media. All right, if somebody sues you, all right, let me finish. All right,
okay.
Somebody sues you. You know, why not you? You could be sued tomorrow, right? Because you are doing this. You're too sympathetic to this.
Right.
And Joe, you did that. And they have a big law firm behind you. You're going to have to spend zillions of dollars defending yourself. You know what? Next time you do an interview, you say, maybe I'm not going to go in that area. Right?
No, but it's not that. It's editing things to make deceptive editing.
Joe,
so in deceptive editing,
I don't
you
know.
give people a different perception of who this candidate is than reality.
All right, but you got to explain.
But that's not objective journalism.
I know. That's what you were just talking about.
Campaigning for that person.
But
would you agree with that?
I don't have those details. I don't know that I agree with.
How can he not understand this? He's just put in a
I
corner.
think
Right
that's
now, Bernie's
universally
going,
accepted
I should
that
not be
that's
here. Bernie's sitting there right now going, I should not be here. I don't know how to answer this question.
Yeah, he's saying they're going down the path that you don't want to go down. You don't want to go down that path of truth. Yeah, we don't want to get down that truth category.
I've heard Joe Rogan joke about it. He said, I don't know how I got into this position of like politics. He was like, I'm just a retard who used to go on NBC on Fear Factor and make people eat raw goat dick. You know, he always makes that joke. It's like, why am I the one of very few people asking these politicians tough questions?
Big Dog Mom makes a good point. She's like, who sued Alex Jones? None of them minded when he got sued.
Right. They didn't give a shit. The guy owes $900 million and he's only worth like 4. That's crazy.
That's what they did.
And you got to tell me why he is suing ABC. Why are you suing Meta?
Let's just talk about the 60 Minutes one
but
first.
No, but it's not just
we could go to ABC, but I'm not aware of that one.
George Stephanopoulos said something that he didn't like. But the point is,
what did Stephanopoulos say?
I can't remember. It was I honestly don't remember. But
I think what he was saying was factually incorrect about the results of one of Trump's trials.
All right. Guess what? If I were to sue everybody who said things that were factually incorrect about me, They'll be suing people zillions of times. But Joe, what you're saying is, look,
Well, to correct Bernie here, ABC lost that lawsuit, and what Stephanopoulos said on air, it was that he was convicted for rape, which was completely untrue.
Right, which is a definite slander of somebody.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can't go out there and just randomly say presidential candidates or anybody for that matter is a convicted rapist and try to ruin their career, ruin their livelihood.
And Bernie Sanders fucking knows this.
Yes,
and
of course he knows that.
And he knows that ABC lost, and they had to pay $14 million. I think Trump is donating it to charity or something. But
does media get it wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Should you have the most powerful person in America suing media? What is the impact of that? The impact is clearly intimidation. He wants to defund public broadcasting, NPR. Why is that? Well, because they also would run critical stories of him. This is part, in my view, without getting into any one case, it's part of a pattern that says, hey, I got the power. Don't you criticize me. You criticize me, I'm going to sue you. So it's not whether this show was right.
NPR and PBS have never done a hard story on Democrats. They're completely a one-sided thing.
Yeah,
And
they're
the
a total, yeah.
Yeah, and the government should not be paying taxpayer dollars for a biased propaganda machine.
And they can actually afford it themselves.
Yeah, of course they can. And if they can't, hey, you can't be a media company then. Sorry, you can't have the news.
Goodbye, NPR. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Right. You don't have a constitutional right to have a fucking media company.
Right or wrong. There are shows every day they get it wrong. It's whether you respect you and other media people to do the best that you can. And if I don't like what you're doing, I'll go someplace else. But I don't like presidents suing media, and then it's threatening to impeach judges who rule against you. Really? Is that a concern? I think it's a concern.
I agree. That's a concern. Well, my concern is when you have media organizations that are purported to be objective, and then they say things that are defamatory and factually incorrect, and they should know that before they say it. What other course does a person have other than a lawsuit? And isn't it important that you shine the light on what is a political bias?
Then the way
we're from an organization that you would hope would be objective.
Needless to say, I get attacked all the time by right-wing media, right? Every day.
Needless to say.
Needless to say. All right. I don't sue them. So you expose
but they
him.
don't
Then
say,
he's the president of the United
but
States.
do they say things factually incorrect
Right, then
that
he
are
can get up there.
defamatory and slander?
No, they just call him a retard.
Right, exactly.
We didn't say that he stole money or he's a rapist or anything. We just call him a retard.
Right.
That's okay. You're allowed to do that.
If there's anybody in the world who knows how to use a microphone, his name is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump get up. You saw that program on CBS the other day? It was crap. It was wrong. And let me tell you why
Right.
it was wrong.
But then they do it again and again and again.
Then you take them on, and
The
you keep-
problem is the more people do stuff like that, if you don't have any consequences to what you're doing, you're going to continue that path. And the most people only see that. They're not like, if you're a left-wing leaning media organization and you print something that's factually incorrect, or you say something on television that's factually incorrect, your viewers who are left-leaning are most likely not going to see Trump's rebuttal in some speech that he does
But that's
in the
a-
middle of
Right,
Pennsylvania.
but that's another problem.
Or pause that
is,
LW if you don't care.
Our media.
Or they post their own detraction of the story on like page 82 of the paper or some weird place in tiny print. And they're like, oh, well, we did post our correction to the story.
Right.
You know, they never come out and do the whole story. And what gets me is when they're like, well, they all report like one person says one thing and they're like, well, being reported by this one, and then they all run with it and report the same fake story. They don't have to post retractions because they were reporting on what the New York Times was saying. Right. So it's up to the New York Times to post a retraction, and then they'll do it on like page 9 or something like that and never say anything about it. So it's a very dishonest media.
Yeah, and that's the thing about cable news too. It's like he sued ABC and George Stephanopoulos, whatever his name is. He hosts a show that says they're the news, ABC News. So you can sue them because they claim to be the news. Where the cable news gets around this stuff it's because, like the primetime shows, is because they're personality shows. It's the Sean Hannity show. It's the Rachel Maddow show.
Right. And they're labeled as entertainment.
Right. So they can make up fucking anything they want to, and they can get out of it because, like, it's just the Rachel Maddow show. We didn't claim to be the news.
Right. They label those as entertainment.
Yeah. It's so fucked up. And they can say whatever they want.
Is becoming very divided.
Exactly.
Okay. But all I would say is.
So you don't think that lawsuits against that are valid?
I don't think that it is appropriate for the President of the United States to be, in my view, intimidating media. Again, I get attacked. I'll be attacked tomorrow for probably things I've said on the show. I'll get attacked. Then if I want to respond, I respond. I have a, not a president's bullet. I have a bullet. I say, you see that thing on Fox? They're wrong. And I've done it. But when Joe, you got to take it another way. I'll give you an example about CBS. We talked about corporate power. The owners of CBS is owned by Paramount, big multimedia corporation, right?
Sure.
Paramount wants to sell, wants to be sold to, what is it, Blue Sky? Does that ring a bell?
Blue Sky is that social media app.
No, and it's another one. I'm sorry. It's I always forget the name of it. Skydance. Thanks. Skydance is a large media corporation that Paramount wants to have buy.
Okay.
To get this merger, huge merger, they have to go, guess what? To the federal government. All right. So you are the head of CBS. You want to sell the company to Skydance for many, many billions. Do you remember how much? What was the sale? It's billions of dollars, to be sure. And you got to go to the federal government, and the president sues you. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to settle the lawsuit, give him millions of dollars, and get your merger approved. All right. So look,
I see a problem in that.
All right, and sure. I see where you're coming from. We want honesty in media, but all I can tell you is that the way to respond to the lies, which take place every day, is to take them on, not to intimidate media. We talked about the Constitution. What's the First Amendment? Is freedom of speech, right?
Right.
You're right. You're sitting here. You disagree with me. God bless you. Say what the hell you want to say. All right. I'll never take that away from you.
Right.
And I'm not going to threaten you with a lawsuit. But if you start suing me, hey, Joe Rogan said this. No. Joe Rogan has this. We found out about Joe Rogan. I'm going to sue Joe Rogan for $100 million. Joe may not talk.
But you can't say, we all lived through 2016, 17, 18, right? The 3-year Russiagate thing.
Yeah.
You can't say that while what turned out to be a bullshit investigation, but they said he was guilty. They had people up, Chris Cuomo, but that's how they got out of it. It was the Chris Cuomo show. It was the Rachel Maddow show. And they told the country that he was guilty of it before any findings were, there's a good clip of all of them saying the same things, all these different channels.
Oh.
The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. And none of it was true. None of it.
For the love of God, look at Chuck Schumer. I mean, he went on air saying that he had undeniable proof and had seen the proof and all that for 2 years.
And what's that bug-eyed guy from California?
Schiff.
Yeah, that guy. He was like Geraldo Rivera with the fucking.
Oh, he was worse.
I got the proof. You just wait. He still hasn't showed any of it, by the way. Here's Bernie.
I'll talk about those issues in the future. Okay? That's what I'm saying, Joe.
I agree with you. And listen, I'm not a fan of lawsuits either, which is why I never sued CNN.
Well, I've never done.
CNN lied about me over and over and over again. And they said I was taking horse dewormer, and they altered the color of my face on television to make me look green.
I can testify, yay, green.
I didn't sue them. I'm not a fan of. My response to them was just speak out and say how ridiculous.
That's
it was
what I'm
what they were
saying. Look,
doing.
Joe, it ain't anybody in the public eye. You're in the public eye. I'm in the public eye. You're gonna get attacked every day, right?
Yes.
All right. That's what you're in the public eye. You don't want to be in the public eye. Put down the microphone
Agreed.
Play
Yeah.
pool, whatever you
No,
wanna
I
do.
agree with you.
All right, so I mean, I just worry.
But I also agree that CBS shouldn't be altering a presidential
If that
candidate's
is the case,
interview.
I agree to. I mean, I don't know enough about it, so I'm not going to say what isn't. All I know is that 60 Minutes is a well-respected program. Do they make mistakes? I'm
But that's
sure
not a
they do.
mistake.
All right, I don't know enough about it, so I can't.
I understand.
All right, that's like saying, oops, I accidentally, like somebody cheating on their spouse or something. It's like, no, I accidentally tripped and,
fell into that.
slipped and my dick went in her out. Yeah, or something. They're like, that's not a mistake. That doesn't just happen that way. That's purposely manipulating one of the most important things in the world. Yeah, it's not a mistake. And Bernie is an absolute liar saying he doesn't know the situation.
Yeah, he ended the interview right there too. Bernie did. He was like, anything else you got for me?
Yeah.
He didn't like all that line of questioning.
No, explain to me, Lucy's. He don't like explain to me, Lucy's. How this can be correct. That it's all right.
Hey, I'll be right back, LW.
Okay.
To change the result of the question to help deciding a vote for president of the United States. That's definitely, tampering with an election.
Absolutely.
I think there should be some federal charges brought up against them instead of just a lawsuit. I think the people involved with that decision to go that way, and I tell you what, you get one of them threaten, you find one of the close ones, he'll scream and let you know who the rest of them are. So I don't know. It's like we don't ever know. Thank God for a few small media outlets that are out there. I like I lean conservative. I do, because I cannot watch them.
Yeah.
It's like watching The View.
Oh God, that thing,
could not.
That thing is.
But
The View is horrible.
I like Black Conservative Patriot. He's a good one to listen to. There's one guy that has Mike Lindell's sponsors his show. He's cool dude. I don't know why I can't recall his name. Just old fartitis, I guess. And you don't like Benny Johnson, but I like Benny Johnson.
I mean, he's not a bad guy. It's just he's
trying to be famous, I think, and
I mean, he already is famous. I mean, he's rich as fuck.
He's taking care of his kids and shit, I mean,
yeah,
he's kind of passionate and he lives for gotcha moments and shit, just like anybody that, wants to be successful. But he does get mad at the same things I get mad at. And,
right. Oh, I've agreed with a bunch of stuff Benny Johnson said. I think my thing with him is he's not very, here's the thing. There's some people that are Joe Rogan is not a journalist. He's a podcast host.
Yeah.
He'll have two comedians in there making dick jokes next week for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then the next week talk to an MMA fighter. He's not a fucking, he's not a journalist. He's a podcast host that sometimes has on Bernie Sanders and he talks politics. And there's journalists, and that's not a difficult thing to be. I mean, the job of a journalist.
Hey, every kid with a cell phone now is a journalist at a protest.
Well, I mean, the main job for a journalist is to go down to the end of the road, see what's happening, come back and report it to the people, right? And tell them the truth. That's the journalist's job. And then there's political commentators, personalities. And I think Benny Johnson is a personality. He's not a journalist. And I think he's just not very in depth or deep about anything. It's just all, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
I think I have to disagree with you. I think he is a journalist.
He is
a celebrity, kind of speak of, but
well, I think Mr. Duggar to LW's point, a journalist should report upon what is exactly happening without opinion. So when you start being biased one way or another and choosing what to report on and what not in the way that you're going to report, you kind of lose the straight term as a journalist.
Allowing his conservative views, of course, you know, and I can understand that. But because he does have a powerful dislike of the left, and there's reasons that, you know, are plain to see. But I do like hearing both sides of the story myself. I don't like being assumed that you have my support just because I agree a lot with Trump's terms, but there's a lot of things that I don't like that big bill, one big beautiful bill, that AI thing in there, and I don't agree with that. They got, you know, where we can't even touch them.
Like, I don't think it's honest journalism. To call it honest journalism if you pick and choose the stories and the way that you want to report on it. You can say, like, journalism is, this is what happened. Iran bombed them, they bombed, you know, blah, 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 facts, no opinion. That's the facts. That's journalism, not, well, but I do believe that's this person's, you know, when you start going in or creating things. I mean, Benny Johnson is, like anybody, you know, he's there for clicks. He's there to make money. He's there to do this. I don't dislike Benny Johnson. I like Benny Johnson, but it's his take and going to his. It's no different than the Rachel Maddow show.
Yeah, it's a business for him. I understand, but
yeah, and I could agree with
out that at least we get to hear some of it. You know, sorry.
It's like this thing. No, that's coming around. Like today, there's a big debate. Some news channels are reporting it that maybe our 2 bombs or 3 bombs or 12 or whatever it was didn't really destroy everything, and they still have a lot of the stuff. I don't know, so I'm not going to call it, but that's the job of journalists, to go find out, go, you know, ask the Pentagon, to ask the White House, like, what's your intel on it? That's a journalist job. That's not you know, Steven Crowder saying, you know, on his YouTube videos, you know, he's just a personality.
Well, did you see Trump's tweet about that?
Yeah.
Or the Truth Social about their reporting on that?
Yeah, but I also saw a news report saying that they got that information from the Pentagon. So, but I'm not calling it either way because I haven't gone and looked at the Pentagon's website or like what's what, so I can't verify.
Well, that would have been a leak from an unnamed source at the Pentagon.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, the Trump is maybe, you know, who knows, but they're fighting each way. But according to Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump,
right,
they're saying yes, it did. You have CNN saying it didn't.
Well, I think they should say that, even if it, and you know, this is where you like, you don't want to like be too pissed off because they were asked to do a favor for Israel, right? Like, our intelligence, here's our intelligence. These people have, we think they're a month away from getting a fucking nuke, and here's our intelligence, and here's where we think, and we kind of already know because in Obama's Iran nuclear deal, those were the places that deal told them that's the only place you can do it. We're going to monitor. You can only have this much. You can only do it there, and we get to monitor what you're doing, and you can't go over this amount. And they're like, okay, we'll sign the deal. So it's kind of basic knowledge that that's kind of where they did it. It's really not some secret intelligence because we kind of knew. But once that Obama deal didn't exist anymore, Iran was under no obligation to do any of those things. They could move it anywhere. And that's what Iran was saying. And other people, like, well, we just moved it a long time ago. Like, you think it's still there, but it's not. You know, because they were under no obligation to keep it there.
Can we detect that, though? I mean, isn't there a way to detect that stuff? I would think.
Absolutely. That's what I was just thinking to say. That's what all that drone shit was off Jersey. You know, trying to pick up uranium and stuff. They can do it from the air. They don't have to go individually search it. Oh, yep, there's a big pile of it right there. So They can tell that without even being on the ground.
Well, I don't even think they claim to have. I don't even think Trump has claimed that they've destroyed all the uranium. I mean, I think they've kind of admitted that they still have some. So, but they've destroyed their infrastructure on how they were, building it. Which is what they were asked to do by Israel.
Big Dog Mouth said propaganda has taken over.
But you mentioned The View. I always love this clip. You're talking about me. I always love this clip. I want to play it.
And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show. If the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View, because there's nothing worse than The View in terms of there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double X.
Okay.
Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
Yeah. Did you watch the episode when Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself and Joy Behar starts?
And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set.
Oh, man. That wasn't the right one.
Yeah, Tulsi tore them apart.
That wasn't the right one where later he called them he called them all trans. It's so funny. Fuck, I pulled up the wrong one. Oh well.
Yeah, Tulsi tore those girls. Last time, not the last time I was at the dentist, the time before I was getting a filling. And I hadn't had a cavity in God forever. And I had a tiny cavity. I had to get it filled. And they're like, I'm sitting in the chair and they've got, now you go to the dentist and they all have the TV in front of you that you can watch while you're getting your shit done, Yeah. And they were like, okay, we're going to do this now. Is there anything that you need, whatever? And The View was on. And I said, the only thing I need, I said, I don't even need that Novocaine if you'll just turn The View off. I'm not going to sit here and watch this. You can drill into my tooth, do whatever. But I am not going to sit here and watch The View. And they changed it for me. I think I offended the one girl. That's why she jabbed that shot of Novocaine into my gum really hard. But
yeah, and then it's just a panel of fucking imbeciles, and they just all agree with each other and just yapper at each other yeah.
They try to bring on one dumb broad that the rest of them can just beat up on or something. Yeah, it's horrible.
I would love, of course, it'll never happen, but I would love for Joe Rogan to get Whoopi Goldberg on his show for 3 hours and drag her out.
Never happened. It would be awesome.
Never happened.
Never happened, but that would be absolutely awesome. One thing I did want to go back to was Big Dog Moss said propaganda has taken over. Propaganda, I think, took over. Oh my God. I mean, there was propaganda going on during the Revolutionary War, but it really got bad. I would say in the 1950s, 60s.
Yeah.
Operation Mockingbird in full effect. I mean, the news, you think Walter Cronkite was really reporting? They were basically just mouths of the CIA. And back then, there was no way to know any different. All you knew was when you came home, news was only on for 30 minutes. I mean, that's all the way, everybody else watched. They came home and watched, Leave It to Beaver or the Flintstones on TV when it debuted in 1960 or something. That's what everybody knew. Oh, and now we're going to get the 30-minute news cycle, and that's all the news people got unless they read the newspaper on Sunday. That's all they got. People just believed blindly what the newspapers told you. Now you're looking at a constant 24, thanks to CNN, a constant 24 news cycle that's driving everybody insane.
Right. And, I mean, conspiracy is a word to describe something, two or more people committing a crime, conspiring to commit a crime. The conspiracy theorist was started by the CIA after
100%.
After Kennedy was killed. They came up with conspiracy theorists. Anybody who questioned, what the fuck happened to our president? They're like, oh, conspiracy theorist. That didn't exist before 1963.
Yep, that was a word. That was a phrase created by the CIA. 100% correct.
I don't know, man. What happened to Gilligan Island type days, you know? And Nash. Now,
Mr. Duggar, I have to ask, if you were a character on Gilligan's Island, who would you be?
Look, I think I would be Mary Ann just so I could play with myself. You know what I mean? Oh, just go look at myself in the mirror and shit. Well, Jim Backus probably was the best character on that show.
Yeah, you kind of had to have been the skipper, I think.
Nah, I hate authority figures.
I'd be Marianne Shorts.
Yeah.
I was more of a Mrs. Howell kind of guy.
I bet you were, you freak.
You kind of look like Mrs. Howell, you know. You know, she was a hot babe when she was young. Like, you know who else was?
Oh, yeah, those old pictures of her. Yeah, she was smoking.
You know who was smoking when she was
I'm going to go
young?
grab one more drink. I'll be right back.
Granny on the Beverly Hills.
Yeah, remember I pulled those pictures up not too long ago.
She was
We were looking
hot.
at Granny. Yeah, she was good looking. Definitely. But I mean, as long as everybody knows the media just always lies to you, I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah, I mean, like social media gives us more news than what we get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but 70% of that is wrong too. I mean, when people start getting their news and, you know, their political thoughts based off of memes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you know, it's just as bad. I mean, that's just another. And who's posting that? Half of those are arms of some, you know, some other organization or foreign government, or nobody even knows where those memes are coming from. It's like the meme, they just rain down upon you and nobody knows at all.
Winders. Yeah, you're right, brother.
I mean, you know, it's just as bad on the right as it is on the left. You have those Occupy Democrat people over there on the left that, I mean, you can read their stuff and it's just all these skewed statistics and these horrible things. And it's like, when you read that and these people actually believe it. And then it's just as bad on the right. You have the same people who will just believe anything as long as it makes, you know, supports their thought.
I've never been on TikTok, not one time.
Yeah, I don't have TikTok.
I don't even know what TikTok is. We called it Tic Tac.
Yeah, I don't waste my time with that.
That's where all the fishing guys went, to TikTok.
Did they really?
The cat fishing guys.
Now, isn't that kind of lame though? I mean, like, how can they go to
they
TikTok?
picked up a lot of subscribers and making bank.
I know, but I can't bring myself to go to TikTok.
Yeah, me either.
I can't do it. I can't do it. At some point you have to draw the line and say, I'm going to have a little bit of pride somewhere, somehow. And I'm just going to stay off of it. And I'm drawing the line at TikTok. I'll go back to MySpace before I'll go to TikTok.
You know, I didn't even sign myself up for Facebook. My nephew did, so he could talk to me. And it's the same one I had ever since.
Yeah, I keep Facebook Messenger because it's great if you're overseas or talking to people overseas. It works really well just via internet. I mean, you can make a phone call and it's free. Yeah. So and I keep that for that. But I mean, I don't even know how to log into my Facebook, and I haven't posted anything on there in forever.
Right. I go on every once in a while and just see who's died and who's alive, you know. And I don't know, man. I just not very real sociable, one-on-one kind of guy anymore. I used to be. Getting older and wiser.
Well, plus, in 2016, that's about when I quit using Facebook, because I used to go on there and look and see, like, oh, well, let me see these old friends, you know, the pictures of their kids or their blah, blah, you know, and all of a sudden they all started fighting over politics. And then I'm like, I never wanted to know y'all's political opinions. I never asked for any of this. The only reason I was here to look at a picture of your kid and go, oh, that's good. I'm glad you're doing well. I remember you from high school. That's super cool. I'm so glad that your kids have grown up and are graduating, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear your political rants. That has nothing to do with it. I never signed up for this, so I went. Meh.
I never have had anything political on Facebook ever.
That guy I've played a couple times, that Tim Dillon guy, like talking about Hunter Biden and then The View. He made a funny. He said all Facebook is right now is two cat avatars, two old ladies with both. They both have the same cat avatars arguing about politics. That's pretty accurate.
100%. Yes.
I don't know. I just never messed with that one. I don't like getting in confrontations anyway, you know, because I feel like it's my decision to feel like I do. No matter what you do to argue about it, it probably ain't going to change it unless you come up with some real facts. And you're able to show me them facts, not just spout them like you know they're the fact.
Right.
You know, that's facts, man.
And you can't change anybody's mind on that shit anymore.
No.
Yeah, and I've never got personal about it. I remember living in Austin, Texas, 27 years ago, long ass time ago, and my friends who were going to UT there, we used to sit on the back porch and talk politics, and I was the only I was the conservative libertarian guy, you know, and we didn't agree on anything, but we'd sit out there and drink beer and smoke weed and talk and just fucking argue politics. But it was fun, but we never took it serious. We never insulted anybody, and they were still my friends. Today, that's completely different. They're calling people, you know, conservative people who didn't want to get involved at all in the war. They're calling them anti-Semites and like you're really a communist. It's crazy.
Yeah, after 2016, I've never chose my friends based on politics.
No,
and after 2016, it was funny because these people, they wanted to argue, and they got so mean and hateful, and they said these horrible, hateful things, and I was just like, I'm not going to say those back to these people. I'm not going to. I'm not going to start fighting with them. And they were like, you know, well, I've lost all respect for you if you can do, you know, blah. And I'm like, you're like my best friends. You know, some of these people that I love to death, and I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, and it lasted a long time. I mean, years. And about 3 years ago, you know, here they are calling up. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to apologize. I don't know what you know, and I'm like, okay, it's all good. And I forgave them, moved on, and, you know, really cool. Gone over there, talked to people, you know, and hung out with them again. Nothing's, you know what I mean? And I can move on like that. Like if somebody just looks me in the eye and says, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, you know, and okay, cool. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And so I like it better now. Back to being friends with some people that I missed for a long time. But I wasn't going to go, you know, I wasn't the one saying horrible things to them just because I didn't, you know, they're the ones that, you know, disowned me for not thinking like them.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even agree. Us three on the panel don't even agree on everything.
No, nor should we. That would be so weird.
Oh, fucking weird,
God. Yeah, I know.
Just be a big fucking circle jerk. Nobody wants that.
I know I'm right, so it doesn't matter. So I would give away.
Me too.
And, you know, and you know, Wendy, it would be fun if we could put some fun in you. Come up here.
Is that a pickup line?
No, she's a married lady and she's my little buddy.
Oh, you said fun. Sorry.
Yeah. But if she is to run off New Mexico, I wouldn't mind that a bit.
And there you go again, Duggar. Silver tongue devil over here.
He's got the big old beautiful eyes.
Yeah, I don't like hanging out with people I agree with everything about. That would be no fun. And I hate when people pretend to agree with everything about, you know, with people just to fit in. I don't like that either.
Right. I'm going to say what I think, and I want, you know, other people to say what they think. But I'm going to And I typically don't like to talk about things that I don't know anything about. You know, that's the problem too. Is that people just take a side that they don't know anything about just because their political party is for it, and they haven't looked into it to see if it's correct, incorrect, or they're kind of being hyperbolic about it. You know.
Speaking of, has our buddy gave you any whiskey? To me.
That's a perfect example. He went every time anybody tried to disagree, he went straight to calling us morons, you know?
Right.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault you're a stupid idiot. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks, bro.
Right, exactly. He hadn't been around in a while, so I'm waiting for him to pop back up, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's like an honest discussion or a honest debate if the first thing you can go to is, well, you're dumb. You know, it's like, okay, thanks, buddy. Thanks, pal.
Right. Like I had a little this morning, I had a little Twitter thing with this guy about that. Somebody posted that Thomas Massey thing that I played, and I just said, I responded like, you know, yeah, he's right or something like that. I forgot how it started, but this guy was like, the bill doesn't say that. And I'm like, yeah, it does. And they just argued with me, and he was like, show it, prove it. I was like, okay, hold on. I've already read that section word for word, and I went and I copied and pasted it, and I posted it, and he was like, that's bullshit. That doesn't say that. I'm like, I just copied and pasted it.
Right.
And then I took a screenshot. He was like, no, here's the screenshot of it. And he was like, well, it doesn't really specifically say. I said, yes, it does. And I highlighted the comment. Like, some people are just, they're so dug in that they, I don't know, man. It's weird to be that dug in. You know, it's okay to say you're wrong about something, you know?
Right. And that's been the biggest problem was like the pride of like people all of a sudden, they feel like they have some pride of being on the internet to where they can never admit that they're wrong. You know, 2 years ago, I had to admit I was wrong about something. It's been a while since, but there was that one time. But no, people, they'll just die on these hills, even if they are wrong, just because they can't, like, they feel like they have some, you know, internet clout to uphold. You know, you can be fucking wrong about something.
And it's been a few times in my life, as everybody will admit, if they got any salt or sawdust in their ass, you know, I'm just saying, everybody has to claim and own up when they're wrong, you know, and everybody's wrong, because I have people disagree with me sometimes, and they're wrong.
Right. Well, Big Dog Mall makes a great comment there. Pride cometh before the fall. Yes, Big Dog Mall. I mean, that's a great way to put it, in a great expression there. Pride cometh before the fall, and that's so true. And yes, Mall, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
You know, people have told me this my whole life, that if I wasn't so conceited, I'd be perfect.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking guy.
He's a legend in his own mind, for sure.
Jokes, total jokes. Oh, damn. You know, got to talk a little shit every now and then.
Oh man, I hate Twitter.
Well, it's fun to piss people off on there, and then when they try to rebuttal with stupidity, you just put put a meme up of something cheesy like pointing and laughing at them, or you know, like Nelson from The Simpsons. You know, like you just put that up, and then they're like, "Is that the best you got? You got to come back with me," and you just do it again. It's like you can't take it too serious. If you're arguing with an idiot, just troll them into fucking, because then they'll get mad and they're like, ooh, and you know you've ruined their whole day at that point. You're like, okay, this is great. I used to argue with people on there, and now I'm like, I ain't even wasting my time on that.
Yeah, that's what I got to on that little Twitter thing. I was just commenting on somebody's thing, and somebody wanted me to prove everything that I'm about, you know. After a while, I was just like, you know what? You're right. I think you win. Thomas Massey is an asshole, and he should be voted out of office. I said, I'm voting myself off the island. Please stop responding. Like, just stop, man.
Right, because they'll go on and on, you know. And this is like,
Right.
if you get somebody mad, just make the Nelson from The Simpsons, you know, like, meme, you know, and just put that up and then they'll be like, you see, and you're like, just do it again, and they do it again, just do it again. It'll drive them insane because they thought they found somebody they can argue with. They've put 2 hours of their life at this point into thinking they're going to own somebody on Twitter. Who the fuck has 2 hours of their life to argue on Twitter?
God,
I love those guys. I love those guys on Twitter that post stuff, and we all know who I'm talking about. I spend 17 hours a day on this app trying to save the country. I'm like, fucking go outside, bro. Eat some ice cream. Like, go fucking walk in the park. Get some sun.
Right.
Oh my God. How about put some air, Junior?
Yeah, a little bit of sun wouldn't hurt these people at all. You know, maybe get off the internet for 5 minutes of your life and go walk your dog. Do something, or walk your mom's dog.
And if you don't have a dog, go buy a dog.
Yeah.
Maybe he can, you can spend 12 hours less a day on Twitter and play with your dog.
Yeah.
Not get a dog.
Yeah. Or you know a really, really unimaginable thing that they could possibly do is get a job.
Go bend a rod. Shit, go fishing.
Right, or maybe get a job.
Go to a bar, try to get laid, do something. Go to a baseball game.
Ooh, fuck. What a concept.
Yeah, it's sad. People in 2020, the whole Kung Flu, that didn't do all these people any good because that just really anchored these people into just being home. The amount of people I see on the internet now that are just like, none of them work, none of them do anything. They all just sit on the internet all fucking day and all night and do everything. I'm like, do you people work? And I know the answer. I'm like, no, none of you fucking work.
Yeah.
Well, you're retired, Mr. Duggar. There's a big difference. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between when you see these people that are like in their mid 30s or, I mean, like even me, I fucking, I work. I'm 39 like everybody else. But, I mean, everybody still has to have jobs, has to have all this stuff. But so many of these people, they're like live in the morning, they're live at night, they're live in the middle of the day. They're live like, when do you work? And then you realize they don't work.
Yeah. Like I might have some days on Twitter where, like it's big things happening, like, the Iran-Israel bullshit or whatever. I'll check it throughout the day and I might post a lot in the morning and just kind of keep up with it because it's changing every 5 minutes. But most of the time I'm not too active on there. But there's some people that just start at 6 a.m.
All day long.
They start tweeting at 6 a.m. and then they'll stop tweeting at about 11 o'clock at night. Like, holy fuck, you've tweeted 238 times today.
Right. And Wanda E in the chat, and that's such a shame because I love to get dirty. He says no one wants to work or get dirty. Well, I love to get dirty. I don't want to work, but I still have to.
You'd be surprised how many old dudes are there to kill the little teens on the gaming. They're there to blow up faces and stuff. So there's a lot of older guys that play them survival games. Those are the ones I feel sorry for.
All right, LW, I'm gonna feed the rabbits off the porch, but I'll be right back.
Poor little rabbit. Well, it certainly is a confession of Bernie of being an idiot.
Oh man, Joe Rogan can make people look really stupid.
Yeah. He's a veteran, boy.
Yeah, he's the first one to tell people I'm not a journalist. I'm just doing a podcast.
You a big Tim Pool fan?
No, I can't stand Tim Pool.
What about some of the guys he has on his show?
Like who?
The long-haired guy.
Long-haired guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Tim Pool is just irritating the way he talks. I don't know. I just want to throw him out a window. Allegedly. He's so condescending, and when he talks to people, he's talking to them like he's teaching them something, and I just don't like him. Just listening to him, I don't like him. But he's also full of shit. Like he's not as smart as he thinks he is. He's just repeating what other people say too. I like people who have their own opinion that varies.
They get into some hot debates on there sometimes, and he hates get called out. Well, that's not what you said last week. You know what I mean?
I mean, he'll just do stupid shit like he was anti-Trump in 2024, or like I think it was like 2022. Tim Pool was kind of anti-Trump, and Kanye West said something that I guess Tim Pool thought was smart, and Tim Pool tweets out Kanye West 2024. And the next day, Kanye West started fucking ranting about how Hitler was right. Like he's an idiot. Tim Pool's an idiot.
Yeah.
Kanye West. He wanted Kanye West to win the presidency over Donald Trump in 2022. Tim Pool's an idiot.
Hey,
Tim Pool, you're talking about the guy with the beanie, right?
Yeah, who's never taken it off ever. He went to the White House, put a suit on, still wore a fucking beanie.
I think he's got a bald spot there.
Well, shave your head. Fuck. That's what I did. Like when I was like 19, I was like, oh shit, I'm getting a bald spot. I shaved it off.
When was the last time you let it grow?
Oh, never. I'm not ever going to look like George Costanza, brother. I'm straight Bruce Willis.
You're not tall enough to look like George Costanza.
Jesus Christ. Here we go again.
You're a shrimp, huh?
Come on, LW. You have to admit that was an epic troll.
It is a
meeting
troll.
LW that I told everybody he was like 5'7" and like 300 pounds. And everybody believed me.
I'm actually about a half inch taller than this fucker right here, too. That's what's funny.
Well, that's the point.
That was a good troll.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun.
And it never goes away because friction always reminds me.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Baker just slipped in, said Tim Pool has little man syndrome.
I think so. Take that goddamn beanie off.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of Baker too. He Baker actually used to be a professional midget wrestler.
Yeah.
But only on Thursdays after 3.
I think Baker sets his beer on top of Nate's head.
I think Baker did say, what are you, like 6'4", 6'5", something like that?
Yeah, he's
he's a big boy.
Like fucking Bill Lambier.
I've been watching some shorts and all the brothers that played basketball in the day with Michael and all of them. They all hated playing Bird. He said that motherfucker talk more trash than anybody in the NBA.
Oh, Larry Bird was awesome.
He said, I'm going to take 2 steps to the left, jump up, bring it off the glass, and score on for 3.
Larry Bird was bored one game in regular season. He said, I'm going to shoot everything left-handed. And he scored like fucking 36 points. Like, that's how good he was.
Yeah.
He was great. Larry Bird was great.
I saw somebody posted, of course I don't watch the NBA anymore, but whatever, Oklahoma City, I guess, won the finals. They won the championship.
I have no idea.
And all the beer tubs with the champagne and beer, they didn't even touch it. They didn't even open it up and spray it or drink it and get drunk and fucked up. It's a weird league, man. They all liked each other. They did. I don't know what they did. I guess they just high-fived each other and went home.
Well, that's lame. Did Oklahoma City burn the place to the ground or anything?
No, that's a red redneck song. They're the only one was every county in Oklahoma was red. The only state every county was red.
Southern Grown says she's not flirting with me. Did I think you were flirting with me?
Yeah, she said she didn't have good enough internet to come up because we're snobs.
No, I think it's probably in reference to the comment above where she says, I've seen LW and he is cute as can be.
I told you to delete those. All right, Wendy. Well, I hope you have fun here, Wendy. I don't have any. You should come over and hang out. Join the panel.
We won't laugh at your internet.
Yeah, we will.
Listen,
Baker will.
Mr. Duggar's snobbing up already.
I know it has turned up a little bit.
It took us 17 years to get him good audio. It was quite the journey.
I'm sending you all naked pictures of me. Relax. I turned
Again, I have to deal with this again.
The lights are still off, though. You don't get to see.
Oh, man. Thank God. Except for that ring light that you use as a whatever.
Yeah. It's
God damn it. How come there is no fucking reverb clip?
I could do a reverb for you.
And please do not.
Reverb.
All right, that's time to...
That was just my voice. I didn't mess with my bar at all.
All right, so what do y'all want to do? Y'all want to keep going for about 20 minutes? We got 11 people watching. Or y'all want to call it?
You got me for about another 10. How about that? How about we meet in the middle?
All right, there you go.
9 3/4. Man, what decision are we going to make on the situation of the war? What is your final thoughts of Trump dropping the bomb there, DF?
Well, I liked seeing this morning. Trump was pissed off this morning, and I liked seeing that, and I like the fact that I do like the fact that he dropped the F-bomb kind of made a point. And you could tell he was mad. He was mad at what's his name, EB or
BB Netanyahu.
Right, you could tell he was pissed off at him, and I like that. I like seeing that because I'm right on board with the Israel. Get your fucking shit together too, because I'm sick and tired of bowing down to Israel.
Right.
So I like the fact that he was pissed off, and I didn't hear the thing about what you were talking about earlier, LW, with you saying that he had a phone call with him. And
oh yeah,
what was the deal with that? I didn't catch that today, but
well, reports are, and that's what I love about it, because he walked out there to get on that fucking helicopter, and Trump. There's a video of him before he does interviews and stuff. He makes sure everything is perfect. I saw one the other day. They pull up a table beside him, and they put like a napkin with the glass of water on top of it, and he was looking at it in the camera. It was before they went live, and he was like, "That napkin looks stupid." And he had him take the napkin off.
Would you get rid of this stupid napkin? I didn't ask for a napkin. I just wanted a glass of water.
He's like, this napkin. So he's very specific on how he wants to present himself. He walked out there. He had his fucking shirt collar undone. He's fucking holding his tie, and he's like, these fuckers don't know what they're doing. But yeah, apparently he woke up. He sleeps like fucking 3 hours a day. That's well known. And he was just pissed off. But apparently,
he was headed to that. Is it the G7?
Yeah. And what he woke up to was that fucking Israel was doing a bunch of stupid shit that they said they wouldn't do. And apparently he called BB, and it was a one-sided conversation. They said BB didn't say anything. And these are all recorded and stuff like that, so I'm sure we'll hear it like 20 years from now,
Right.
But, Trump is a big cusser. He fucking curses a lot. Not on TV, but everybody knows that about him. But they said he ripped him a fucking new asshole. And BB didn't say one word the entire time except hello at the beginning.
You could tell he was honestly pissed off this morning. I mean, in that thing, yeah, he looked like, Gary Busey coming out, in some thing and doing a rant. His shirt was all met. He was like headed to that G7, having to go over there and deal with all those fucking people. And I heard from one thing I was reading was that he was just like a goddamn atom bomb over there too. Just, basically just being Trump.
Yeah, totally.
But now Wendy's asking in the comments, are we in World War III? And no, I do not think we are. I think it's all about to die down over there. I really do. I think that's about that of it. And I don't think it's going to escalate too much further than what it's been at.
Wendy, you can
I'll be right back.
Ask people to go on StreamYard with you, like in the back or whatever, and they'll help you hook that up. If I can do it, you can do it. LW and Pools help me, it sounds pretty fantastic, if I must say so myself. What do you think?
Definitely so. Definitely so. Just don't lean in as much. Definitely so. But yeah, I don't think we're on the cusp of World War III. I think I think Zelensky and Russia thing, I think that's just going to go on and on for a bit longer. But I don't think we're going to see the big, I think Iran and Israel is, and I might be wrong. Maybe Big Dog Mall, I might have to say that again, that I was wrong. I mean, 2 years ago, it's been 2 years. So I have a little bit of leeway there, but I think that's kind of going to fall off. They're going to move on to something else. And yeah, we'll see. But even if it does get into something escalated, I don't think we're going to see like our soldiers with boots on the ground over there. I don't think we have to worry about that. I've heard people like, oh my God, there's going to be a draft and I have to worry about. No, we're not going to start drafting people. It's something we could win a war in 30 minutes if we wanted to. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ma, 2 years.
What's 2 years? Inside?
Since I've been wrong.
Man.
I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. Nobody take me seriously. All of y'all, if you've known me long enough, you know I'm full of shit.
I think he rounded it off. I think it was only 18 months ago.
No, it was actually 27 months, but I just went with 2 years, not to sound conceited.
Quick roll back. Boom. TF is always wrong. I don't know, man. I think the timing of the show is perfect.
But I did like to see Trump come out not kissing BB's ass.
Dude, that's my boy. I started my statement off on this show. He's my boy for coming out there dropping the F-bomb. He was pissed.
Oh, you saw like faces on the news media, yeah, and stuff like that. When you saw the other video, they're like, what?
He had a meaner mug on than he did for his
mugshot
poster.
Right.
I hope somebody got a close-up shot and put that on a fucking poster. He looked kind of wild, dude. He did. He's like, you wide-eyed, pissed off.
Well, where's the G7? Isn't that what he's at right now? Is it G7?
Yeah, I think so.
G7.
Where is that? In fucking Switzerland or Denmark or some crazy place?
Something like that.
Let me look that up. So, I mean, that was him leaving this morning, having to go there. So he's got to get on a helicopter, go fly to an airport. Is it the G7? I think that's what it is.
Now, Wendy, you didn't see him Trump cuss today? I can play it for you again. I mean, it is the title of the show, so.
No, it's not the G7. The G7 would be us. What is he at right now?
G8.
No, what's his name? Zelensky. How the fuck do you spell that?
He wore a suit.
Did you see what Trump said on the plane about Putin?
No, I did not.
He said that, he's talking to the media and they're like, yeah. So you got a call from Putin today. Putin said, do you need any help? And Trump said, no. I said, I need some help from you, Putin. Like, stop your shit.
What the hell? It's not the G7 we're at now.
I like Trump, but I'm still going to be hard on him. I'm still going to disagree with him. I'm just not some fucking robot.
It's your welcome to there, commie.
Oh my God.
No, I like the fact, and I like people, pushing back. I like that.
Let me see.
You got to.
What the hell are we at now? It's not the G7. It's the.
But he's not doing anything wrong right now.
Zelensky, Trump. Oh, it's the NATO summit. It's the NATO summit is what we're at right now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Let me play it for.
Yeah, and Ukraine isn't even a NATO member, and why is Zelensky there?
Right.
That was the point. That's what I forgot. It's in Hogue, whatever the hell you want to call it.
That's why we're in this fucking situation with Russia and Ukraine, because of NATO. All right, Wendy, here you go. Here's what you missed today. I'll play it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I love it. He's like, do you understand that?
He's so fucking pissed.
Here's you another one. Damn, I'm so pissed. I got a new mouse. I just got to hook it up. This fucking thing's jumping around everywhere.
What's up, Jared?
All right. So here's you one right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, let me make sure the volume's where people can hear it. I always give you hell about that. Here you go.
Do you think you'll meet with Zelensky when you're there?
Yeah, probably. I'll see him. Yeah.
What will you say to him?
Say, how you doing? Tough situation. Should have never been there.
Do you think you'll meet with Zelensky when you're there?
Yeah, probably. I'll see him. Yeah.
What will you say to him?
Say, how you doing?
It's so fucking dumb questions, man.
I'll say, how you doing? Apparently, he just ripped into all kinds of people today, though. Apparently, he was in not the best of moods today.
No, I think it's just my opinion. I think he's kind of seeing that this, man, I mean, it's just what it is, man. Israel, their lobby with politicians, the AIPAC and all that stuff. It's too much. We shouldn't allow this shit for other countries to pay our politicians. It's like Ted Cruz. He's gotten $1.8 million from AIPAC, and he says the reason he joined the Senate was to protect Israel. You didn't join the fucking politics to fucking for America. You joined it to help Israel. That's the reason you joined. You became a politician. That's crazy.
Ted. Come on, Ted. Do better than that. That's your boy, though, ain't it?
Who, mine?
Yeah, he's Texas boy.
Hey.
I can't say nothing, man. I got Heinrich.
Right.
He's the biggest loser. He hardly talks. He said, you just give me money, I'll shut up. You need me to say something, I'll say something, though. All them guys,
Yeah, it's. I mean, you can tell. I did like, though. You know, we were having that conversation a few days ago about Trump being, just doing whatever Bibi wanted to say, and everything. I do think that was a good message out there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it keeps going. Like I've said from the beginning of this thing, I want to see it keep moving in the direction that I like. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I did like that today, though. I did like that.
Yeah.
Looked like we had a president there for a minute, didn't it?
It's
American president.
Everything I've been bitching about him for the last week about not understanding that Israel is probably not the good guys as everybody thinks. I mean, this guy's a fucking fraud. I mean, the Israelis don't even like him. I mean, he's got like a 28% approval rating. He's under investigation for fraud and all kinds of stuff. It's every time he gets in trouble, he wants to start a war with somebody. And it's happened for the last 25 years.
Well, I saw earlier, and this is, you see stuff and how it's reported. You don't know, but apparently, there was stuff oh, thank you, Bibi, all that shit. But apparently, it was overshadowed by things saying, thank you, President Trump.
Right.
After that today.
It's the first time I've ever seen a U.S. president
say fuck on live TV.
Tell the Israeli government, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's the only one. So he kind of redeemed himself today a little bit with me about that stuff.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's about as plain as you could spit it, I reckon. They have been fighting each other for a long time in that exact spot since the 50s.
And it might, I know some people say I'm too anti-war and kind of delusional about how the world works. But all I know is that we created the Taliban. We create a lot of mess trying to be too smart, and we end up fucking up and creating a lot of the problems. But it goes back to the beginning of the show. Traveling Fools, and I mentioned Traveling Fools travels all over the world. These people across the 8 billion people across the world are just like us at the end of the day. There's some crazies out there, but it's not the majority. The majority of the people of the world are just like us. They worry about feeding their kids, having a roof over the head. They go shop. It's not like the Iranians are not your enemy.
The Iranian people?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the citizens, no, not at all.
Right.
But the Iranian government, the Ayatollah absolutely hates us. But
well, so does the new government of Syria. They hate us too. I mean, North Korea, their citizens and their citizens because they're blacked out from the rest of the world, but their government hates us. There's a whole bunch of people that hate us. And we hate a bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's a good idea for Iran to have nuclear weapons. And I don't believe it's a good idea for anybody to have nuclear weapons, but I don't think it's a good idea for Iran to get them now.
Well, they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, and then
we put our nose in their business.
We're a very small percentage of the world, 350 million people compared to 8 billion, allegedly. And we're telling everybody that we're the superpower. We have the baddest military in the fucking planet. We spend $1 trillion a year on military budget. Second place is not even close. It's so far behind us. And we're always afraid of people. We're always afraid of people. And we are the only ones who's ever dropped a nuke. We are. So we have the baddest military. We're the only ones who've dropped a nuke. So I always try to sometimes think about what the other people think across the world about us.
And we dropped 2.
Yeah, we dropped 2. Yeah.
Can you name the planes that carried them?
The Angola Gay.
Yeah,
You're
the
gay.
Enola Gay.
Oh, well, yeah, I got it right. You got it
Right. Good, close enough. What was the other?
Okay.
The other one, I know it. I see it. I can't say it.
Boxcar.
Boxcar.
Now, weren't they
Really?
two different types of bombs? They weren't the same bomb. Weren't they two different types?
One was bigger than the other one, but no. Well, yeah. Actually, I do think they were slightly different, but basically the same thing. They were both nuclear weapons.
Wow. Wasn't one hydrogen and the other one was atom?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not a physicist.
Nagasaki got the big one.
Right. Yeah. I'm not a physicist, so I can't break it down.
LW, do you know the name of the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima?
It had a name?
Yeah.
Both of them did. They're in the comment section.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, just read what Jared McCoy said. What's up, Jared? Good to see you. Fat man and little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fucking killed 130 million civilians.
Right, burn their shadows into the fucking walls.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, that was a stressful thing. I mean, Japan was not going to give up. I mean, you had to sit there and weigh out the things. I mean, how many American lives would have been lost? And, they had to weigh out the things. I mean, the Japs at that point, they were being very horrible people.
Yeah.
They were all on board with it.
Ask Koreans what they think about Japanese people.
Ask Filipino people. Ask Indonesians. Ask Chinese people. Ask the rest of Asia.
They
what
used to
they think about them.
They used to boil people alive.
Mhm.
Dude, and they're off of an island that's not that big.
You go over there now as an American, they're like, "Hey, what's up, American?" They got the point.
They kiss your ass now. It's like it's almost annoying. They're like, thank you. Let me do this. They get offended if you try to tip and shit. It's like, oh my god, it's like too nice. They're too nice.
You're not going to drop that bomb again, right?
Right, exactly. It's annoying.
So they got the point.
Yes, point taken. Point definitely taken. Yeah, Big Dog Mall. Big Dog Mall, that's cool. You talk about that's the Indiana, or was it Indianapolis, Indiana? The ship that sank that carried the bombs over and sank on the way back, and all the guys got eaten by sharks and shit. I knew I met a guy that was on that. It's a friend of mine, older than me, but his father was Indianapolis. I guess it was the Indianapolis. Was on that ship and was one of those survivors from that, which was super cool. And I never asked him about it because apparently he did not ever want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And why they attacked us, Jared, is because Jap and Nazis had turned into the Axis conglomeration, and Japan had come into the war, and they misjudged us. Is why they just thought it was they could come in there and blow up a base, and we'd go away. They thought it was going to be all our aircraft carriers.
A lot of conspiracies there too, though. When you go back and look, like saying that we knew that was coming.
Yeah, we pulled out all our
carriers,
all the stuff that we actually used, and only kept the old shit.
Yeah,
because
a lot of conspiracies there.
Americans didn't want to get involved. They were like, "Fuck no, that's not our problem." And after that, they were like, "Let's kill everybody." So. Yeah.
That's another Friday night topic right there we can dive into.
Yeah. That was a hell of a war.
And Baker and I have been working on how to figure this out. LW, I think we're closing in on it to where we can have call-in lines via phone instead of dropping links, to where we can have call-in lines via phones. And we're closing in on the idea. And if we can work this out right proper, then we can have our east of the Rockies line and west of the Rockies line.
Love it.
And screen the calls before they come in. And this is what we're working on. We're close. See, Baker and I behind the scenes, we're working on this to where we can figure out to have east of the Rockies line and west of the Rockies, you're on the air, to where we can make this work, to where people can just, anybody and everybody can just call in via their phone, pick it up, call in, say what they want to say.
Yeah, it'll immediately eliminate the bad audio. And I'm not shitting on people that have bad audio. I'm just, I'm trying not to be a snob, but it does kind of suck when people are like, sound like shit. It'll immediately eliminate that. Everybody has good audio if they call the phone.
Echoes, all that kind of stuff. We can get rid of that, and people can actually call in and talk about what they want to say without having to worry. They can just pick their phone up. They don't have to know how to use StreamYard or any of that.
Yeah, they can, and it'll help for the Twitter viewers, because most of the viewers are on Twitter, so it'll help them not having to, if they don't have a YouTube account, they don't, like you said, know how to fuck around with a StreamYard. They can just call on their cell phone, walk around their house, go in the backyard, talk on the phone.
Right. Well, I'm about to have to bounce. Are you going to keep this going, or?
No, I'm going to shut it down. But I appreciate everybody who showed up tonight, the 11 people watching. I appreciate it. Wendy, Baker, everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all showing up tonight. It was a fun show. And I think I'm going to move from Monday nights. It's just too much to 3 or 4 days in a row going live. That's a lot. I'm going to try to figure out a regular day during the week. But I appreciate everybody showing up. And we'll see you next time. Traveling Fools, what do you got going on? Our next...
just our Friday night deal. Friday night, make sure you tune in. I'm sure we got something cooked up our sleeve for you this Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Be there or be dead. And we'll have trivia on Sunday night as well. So that's all I got going on. So other than that, just work.
Mr. Duggar, you're an audio snob now. How do you feel about that?
Hey, there's always have to be a couple of new invasions maybe start happening in the first couple of days of the week.
I will be your first guest, sir.
Right on.
Let's do it.
That sounds really good. I'm really happy with the way I sound now. And last time I sounded this good was my my 63rd birthday when I got all this equipment. So y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks for letting me jump up here with you. Enjoyed it. I love you, Wendy, and chat been really great. Thank you. Wish you all God's blessings.
And just remember, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.